all make declarations of hatred at the same time?
Hi, everybody!
There are dozens of us. Dozens!
你好，中国，我叫希娜，我爱更尊重中。Shields up.
Olsen, help me up onto his casket so I can dance on it!
I don't care.
But how did you ever find us?
Oh, easy. We just read the screenplay you left us.
Glom, gold! Glom, gold! Glom, gold!
You get nothing! You lose! Good day, sir!
I'll help you. Everything is sexist, everything is racist, everything is homophobic, and you have to point it all out.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Huh? Zappuccino.
All right, it is Thursday night in Tooney Town, and that can only mean one thing. It is time for everybody's favorite live stream podcast of the week, or at least mine. It is time for Tooney Talk TV. I shouldn't say it's my favorite because Tooney Talk Wrestling is Tuesday nights too, and I love both equally, guys. I really do. I love whichever one makes more money that week. No, I'm kidding. I'm not that materialistic. Well, yes, I am, but we're going to pretend that I'm not from it because it's Christmas. It's the season of giving. And speaking of which, it is our Christmas party here tonight. So send any Christmas super chats you guys have. We're going to be going over our top 10 Christmas specials of all time. Later on, the entire panel, except for Nolan, has put together a top 10 list of Christmas specials, including TV and movies. And we'll be comparing and contrasting and just having a good old time doing it. But we're also going to be talking Superman. We're going to be talking Sonic. We're going to be talking Mufasa. We're going to be talking Bluey, even if time permits tonight. So we've got a lot to discuss, but I can't do it alone, guys. I need my crack team here with me, and that can only mean one thing.
Everything is sexist, everything is racist, everything is homophobic, and you have to point it all out.
Oh, Kev, I played the wrong clip. How embarrassing. I'm very embarrassed.
I'm sure she was talking about me, but it's okay.
She was. She was. Yes.
Come at me, bro.
Mm-hmm. 100%. I think you would say,
Shut the hell up.
Yeah.
All right. Kev, you ready to talk some Christmas stuff tonight? I'm very excited about this topic.
I am. Let's go.
Let's
Let's jingle some balls and get on with the merriment.
Yeah, but hold on. My scouter is going nuts. I think we have a new fighter approaching.
Vegeta, what does the scouter say about his power level? It's over 9,000! What, 9,000? There's no way that can be right!
And there she is, Lady 9,000 herself.
Oh, that's
she has
a new one.
no idea what that's from. She has no idea what it's in reference to.
Dragon Ball Z, that clip, right?
Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
I was expecting a whole Stephen A. Smith meltdown.
No, I don't know. I assume that's a compliment, but I do know what it's from. So I learned from listening to you guys.
There's one anime that I know you're familiar with.
I love that clip so much.
It's so good.
I relate to it on a very real level.
Mm-hmm. But speaking of Pokemon.
Who's that Pokemon?
It's Nolan. I chose that clip for Nolan this week because he's got the headset on. So Nolan, you have actually seen Sonic the Hedgehog 3 tonight, and you will be giving us a spoiler-free review of the. Oh, that's cool.
They gave these out if you went to the fan event prior, and they also had a keychain too. And I'm like, Is this what it's like to live like kings? This is great.
Yeah, you're gonna walk us through all of that. But we're not done yet, guys. We've still got more members of our panel to talk to here tonight, and
You can't keep getting away with it.
he can't keep getting away with this, but somehow he does. It's Martin Stone.
Can't keep getting away with what?
You're muted, Martin, if you're trying to talk.
Hello. I'm ready to troll the ancient Yuletide carols with you.
Ah, fantastic. Fantastic. Oh, hold on. We've got one more person that has, you know what? This guy, what he is, he's a winner.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind.
He's Lorne Connor.
All I do is win, and I got money on my mind and my mind on my money.
Exactly. So, guys, Spencer, Jess is not able to join us here today. She is traveling. Spencer will probably join us when he's done with his much cooler friends. But we have got a huge show ahead of us. But first, let's start off our Christmas party, our little Yuletide celebration, with some Christmas super chats. Kevin Haggerty for $5 says, Marv, you seem like an awesome dude. I like to think so. Does reviewing bad content get to you sometimes? If something Star Wars makes you upset, why review it at all? Well, simply put, Kevin, this is my job. And sometimes for your job, you have to do things that you don't want to do. So yes, I feel very blessed, though, that the hard things that I have to do for my job are things like watch Star Wars. It's much better than, dealing with like retail customers and things like that. There's much worse things that could happen for me. I try to give you guys what you like, and a lot of you are horrifically cruel and just want to see me suffer. So you like to see me freak out and rant about things. Lauren, I'm sure you feel my pain on this.
Yeah, it's something interesting when the audience actually takes pleasure in your pain, and when they start looking forward to that. And so you do have to get some space from time to time and find some way to rejuvenate yourself so that you don't end up depressed and angry. But so it helps to diversify your interests a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Jamie Earhart for $5 Canadian says, you just admitted that you love the TV podcast more than the wrestling podcast, and I am heartbroken. No, that's not. I don't think I said it like that. I think what I immediately corrected myself when I said I love both equally, guys. So don't worry. I love all my Tooney Town children the same, apparently. Yes, I do have favorite moments, but they're all different. We laughed a lot this Tuesday night, though, between me, Kevin, and Awful. Like I learned what it was like to be at the cookout, and we laughed a lot this week. John JID 999, member for 3 months, says, I'm hyped for the superhero movie, but I'm more excited for Nosferatu at the end of this year. I love period piece movies, and I think they really nailed it. Well, we'll see. I hope so. I think I like classic horror like that. I like Nosferatu, so I'm interested. Anybody else interested in that one?
Yeah, I'm going for that.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know that I want to go because that's just not how I am, but I know I'll probably check it out eventually.
Right, like outside.
Yeah, or streaming at some point because I just never make my way to the movie theater. But
right.
I'm a little late. I'm a little late joining, and so I didn't get the story. Nolan, what's going on with your head?
Well, I thought I'd do a new hairdo. I went to the barber beforehand. Are you impressed? Are you proud of me? Do you support my life decisions?
I can't tell what it is. It looks like a spider is perched on your head.
He's identifying in an alternative lifestyle, Lord, and he hopes that you will, you will respect his life choice. No, he's Sonic the Hedgehog.
Resemblance is uncanny, didn't you know?
Okay, I get it. All right, so
Tooney Talk TV.
Yeah.
Support my life choices.
By the way, Lauren, have you put together your top Christmas specials for tonight?
So I got bad news for you.
You don't have that? All right, if you don't.
I'm not really a Christmas movie kind of guy. And so I do have a few in a list. I'm sure it's ones that you all already have in your list. So I don't have anything probably really that surprising coming. I don't think I've got 10, but I've probably got 5 or 6. So
look, we all know that Martin, Kevin, and Trish specifically probably went with the most obscure references to things that absolutely nobody knows. So
Intentionally.
you know, we're gonna need people that are gonna say Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer at some point. So.
Yeah, that's not mine. Spoiler.
John Williams says, "Love how they primarily used the theme to sell the trailer." You know what? They really did, because the Superman theme, because that is what got me the most excited and the most like when I watched the trailer again, silent, just to see if like the visuals did anything for me, and they didn't. It's all just hearing the music. Like the music is so James Gunn, man, that guy knows how to use music effectively. And
I was talking with Jonas Campbell one time, and he said, other than George Lucas, the only living person that ever really got Star Wars was John Williams.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that 100%. That's very wise. Lauren, do you agree?
I actually kind of disagree. John has kind of famously said that he hasn't really watched the movies. He's not really a movie watching or a TV watching kind of guy. He does watch them in order to time them and to get the feeling of what needs to play in the scene. But I don't think that he's really a guy that would tell you that he's a giant Star Wars fan. He's a brilliant composer and director, though. And so I think that I think there's actually quite a few people that surrounded Lucas who had, in some ways, a better idea of what Star Wars was than George himself. That may be blasphemy, but my feeling is that if George talked to most fans, he would tell them, no, you don't get it. And I think there's a lot of things that George didn't get about the audience. I don't think George understands necessarily why it caught on the way that it did.
Well, I think that John Williams' music is the key that brings everybody in. It's the emotional. It's the way the emotions are really conveyed, because Lucas's dialogue ain't cutting it there.
Well, yeah, and one of the reasons for that is that because they went with a classical score, it does make it timeless, and so it doesn't feel dated. It doesn't age in that way, and that was something really brilliant that they did. I think that that's part of why when you get to the sequel trilogy, it doesn't work because they're focusing on modern day issues, where in the original movies, it was all universal stuff in any place and time. And that's what makes something a myth as opposed to a modern day screed.
I would say, though, that the point that I think Jonas and through Martin was making here is that John Williams understands the emotions of Star Wars, and you kind of have to understand the core feel of it to make the music. Like, there's that famous story that Steven Spielberg saw an early cut of the movie with a bunch of other directors, and they were like, George, what the heck is this? And it just because it didn't have the music yet.
Well, remember too, George originally wanted to make it very documentary style. And you still have some levels of that in the movie, but if you've seen some of the cut scenes, especially there was stuff with Luke and 3PO in the land speeder that's not present in the movie, but is in the radio drama. That stuff is absolutely awful. So much of that movie was saved in the editing that I don't think that's something that people truly appreciate. It's why when he got together with the rough cut with Spielberg and De Palma and all of those guys, they gave George condolences because they really thought this thing was going to be a giant bomb. And by all rights, it should have been.
You know, there's a great movie to be made of Spielberg and Milius that night watching that movie.
That would be amazing. John Williams for $1.99, Power to the 199 says, I mean, Kevin is racist toward bears, so it fits. I don't think you're racist toward bears.
Bearist.
I'm not. I have no ill will towards the bears. I just don't want them living anywhere near me.
Right. Just as long as they're not near you. Now, I think we're at the point now where that bear of yours is 100% like hibernating by now, right?
Listen, if he is not hibernating, then he's a man-eater, and that means he must be put down.
Wow, Aubrey Crown gifted 10 Tooney Town TV memberships. Merry Christmas to all of you who got memberships here. That's fantastic. Thank you, Aubrey Crown. That's very, very generous. You know what? That's so generous. I got to play the second part of that.
Everybody hands go up, and they stay there, and they say yeah.
Fantastic. All right. And John Williams says he's cosplaying as a man who loves Latinas. What is he talking about there?
Nolan's
True
head.
facts. That's all he's speaking.
Nolan. Nolan. Oh, yeah. No, that makes.
I don't think Nolan's cosplaying.
Yeah, no. Is that a thing? Nolan's got like a thing for Latinas?
One, yes, but shadow liking Latinas is also a thing. That's a meme, but I am a man that loves some Latinas. Let that be on the record.
Okay, well,
he's taking applications.
We'll talk off the we'll talk off the air, Nolan. I have to give you some advice, young blood.
Certain regions of the world you should avoid if you want to make it out with your soul.
Yeah. All right, guys. Oh man, where to start? You know what? We're gonna have to start with it. There a trailer released this week that was just something I've been waiting for a very, very long time, and just I'm still like processing what it is that I saw.
Kevin's face.
It's Karate Kid Legends. I am so excited for Karate Kid Legends. You guys have no idea. Is anybody else excited for this, or is it just me?
I actually saw this one right after I saw the Superman trailer, and I remember thinking, I'm actually a little more interested in this one.
So let's take a look at there's not really music in this, so I think we should be okay to just play it. So let's hope the stream doesn't get shut down. So here we go.
Our traditions are rooted in history.
So clearly Jackie Chan is playing Mr. Han again, which I love Mr. Han. I think Mr. Han is a fantastic character. I was not prepared for how old Jackie Chan is now because I hadn't seen him in anything for a while, but let's keep going.
Kung Fu.
Right away, we know this ain't your mama's Karate Kid. We're seeing all the crazy flippy dippies.
Is this connected to Cobra Kai or no?
So we're going to talk about that in a second, Nolan, because I did write an article on it.
The tree grows strong.
They're all. I like that they're all doing the take off your jacket from the Will Smith, the Jaden Smith Karate Kid. Which really, guys, should have been called the Kung Fu Kid. I think everybody would have enjoyed it if it was called the Kung Fu Kid.
I think it was everywhere but the U.S.
It was just such a glaringly weird thing that they were calling it the Karate Kid, and they don't do a single karate thing.
It still did really well, though.
Here we are. Now, here, right away, I'm like, well, where's the Miyagi-Do sign from Cobra Kai? That was why I got a little nervous about this. But...
You knew Mr. Miyagi?
I did not come looking for Sensei Miyagi. I came looking for you.
Okay, so very old man Jackie Chan. And how do we feel about the fact that there is a connection apparently between Mr. Miyagi and Mr. Han?
That had to happen. We knew that had to be a thing.
I love it.
But why and how?
It makes sense, though, in that they have the same teaching philosophy with, like karate or kung fu lives in the everyday things that we do, know, from wax on, wax off to put on your jacket, take it off. I like that a lot. And, we learn in Cobra Kai that Mr. Miyagi had a much more colorful life than we thought he had. So, it makes sense at a certain... I look forward to finding out how. What was that, Kev?
Maybe he tried to help Jackie Chan escape from China at some point in time, and they were separated by a happenstance.
I could see that, or I could see Jackie Chan's no, because Jackie Chan would never escape from China. Jackie Chan loves China. I could see Jackie Chan, Mr. Han's father, and Mr. Miyagi somehow being connected. And there he is, the GOAT. So. By the way, speaking of Ralph Macchio, Daniel LaRusso, I went and saw the Candlelight Processional at Epcot last week, and it was the guest narrator was Ralph Macchio. So the way I described it was, have you ever been like, I wonder what it would be like if I went to church, but the priest was Daniel LaRusso?
I went to that one years ago, and it was Robert Urich So it was, what a Spencer for Hire was preaching.
Yes.
Incredible.
We're sitting there, and like the people are like coming in very slowly, and they're introducing the orchestra and they're introducing the choir, and I'm like, we're sure wasting a lot of time on people who never won an All Valley, let alone twice. May 30th.
In life, you have only one question. Is it worth fighting for it? Or not? Lee means to me what you meant to Sensei Miyagi.
Okay, so do we think Jackie Chan, is, like, as old as he is, does he still have the ability, you think, to do like a lot of the kung fu stuff that he's known for?
He was still doing his own stunts up until a couple years ago.
Okay. Because I can't, the thing I'm looking most forward to in this is watching Ralph Macchio do his old white man karate next to Jackie Chan. I was like, can we please have them fight? Like, can they please fight just so we can see the most biblical ass kicking in the history of film? Not since they did the Batman Green Hornet crossover and Burt Ward fought Bruce Lee.
Smacked around for 2 episodes.
Has there been a bigger mismatch in the history of martial arts? Oh, could you imagine? I like this. They show him, like, so they show Lee, this kid. He's doing kung fu with Jackie Chan. He's doing karate with Daniel.
I'm doing this for all of us. Whatever it takes.
I'm assuming that Ralph Macchio didn't teach him that one. Just going on a limb here, guys.
No, that's all Cobra Kai.
2 branches. 1 tree.
I like that a lot. 2 branches, 1 tree. That is such a Karate Kid thing to say. All right, guys, what do we think?
Before we get into, everyone's thoughts, I do really want to make this comment. This is the official trailer for the movie, and it's 2 minutes long. The teaser for Superman is 2 minutes, 20 seconds. And they showed like half the movie there. So I don't get these companies and their length decisions there. But I'll say, as someone who's actually, please don't burn me at the stake here, who's never seen a Karate Kid thing, this actually looks like a fun entry point. Like, I think it looks pretty cool.
No, this is not your entry point, Nolan.
No? Oh, okay.
You are not permitted to see this until you go watch the Karate Kid. God help you, Nolan.
And the Karate Kid cartoon show.
I know. Karate Kid. That's the theme song.
It is.
Oh my goodness! I
had the Danny toy.
Did you?
I did.
Oh well, I mean, I love the Karate Kid, guys. I love part 1. I love part 2. I love part 3. I love the Jackie Chan version. Cobra Kai is my favorite show right now. I just finished this past season of Cobra Kai, or like the batch of episodes they just released. I finished it literally last night. And I love it so much. Lauren, I feel like, is Cobra Kai on your radar?
Yeah, absolutely. But I have not seen the last batch of episodes, so keep it spoiler free if you don't mind.
I won't say anything. But what are your thoughts on Karate Kid Legends? How do you feel about it?
Well, this is going to get weird because I did not see the Jackie Chan Karate Kid because, as you mentioned, it's not karate, and that really bugged me. The fact that they were sort of doing a pseudo reboot and calling it the Karate Kid with no karate in it really bugged me, so I never saw it. So I don't know what to make of this. I love Cobra Kai. Like you, it's one of my very favorite TV shows. But I don't know how this slots in, and so I guess I have mixed feelings. This trailer.
I will explain it.
Okay, go for it.
I will now explain it. So from thatparkplace.com is Karate Kid Legends canon to Cobra Kai, written by me. So is Karate Kid Legends canon to Netflix's Cobra Kai series? That question has been on everyone's mind since the film's first official trailer debuted yesterday. The Karate Kid remains one of the most beloved 80s coming-of-age action movies. Its timeless message of balance and overcoming adversity resonates across generations. That's why the original 1984 film, starring Ralph Macchio and Pat Morita, spawned several sequels and offshoots. The most recent offshoot is a streaming series that began on YouTube Red before moving to Netflix. That wildly popular series is Cobra Kai. Now, the Netflix series is entering its final season, divided into 3 parts for a multi-leg release. The third and final part will debut on Netflix on February the 13th, but does the Cobra Kai story truly end there? On May 30th, Karate Kid Legends will hit theaters. The film features Ralph Macchio reprising his iconic role as Daniel LaRusso, teaming up with Jackie Chan, and returns as Mr. Han from the 2010 Will Smith-produced Karate Kid film. Surprisingly, Chan's Karate Kid was not a reboot after all. The producers have woven the story of Mr. Han and Xiao Dre into the canon of Mr. Miyagi and Daniel-san. In the trailer, we discover that Mr. Han knew Mr. Miyagi and that Miyagi-Do Karate and Mr. Han's Chinese Kung Fu share a common lineage. As Ralph Macchio says in the trailer, 2 branches, 1 tree. But is the Karate Kid universe truly one tree? Does Karate Kid Legends tie into Cobra Kai canon? Yes, it does. Ralph Macchio confirmed this at Big Texas Comic-Con. The film takes place after the events of Cobra Kai. He says, well, I can't go into depth on it, except it's another ecosystem within the grand universe of the Karate Kid, in the mythology of that, and I'm excited for it, he said. It all happens. The story is after the events of Cobra Kai, so I can't say a damn thing, but enjoy Cobra Kai, embrace Cobra Kai, make it the biggest series finale in the history of Netflix and television. So now that we all know that Karate Kid Legends is canon to Cobra Kai, we can breathe a collective sigh of relief. It's not a Karate Kid multiverse. And there we see he was sitting there next to Billy Zabka, who, by all accounts, is not in Karate Kid Legends. So it must have been a little awkward. But the guy who plays Kreese, I forget the gentleman's name. He has been very vocal about the fact that he should be in Karate Kid Legends, and he's upset that he's not. Which I'm like, Kreese's story has been told here. He can already do like
Martin Cove.
Yes, Martin Cove. That's it.
I have a Martin Cove story. So a friend of mine used to play hockey in Jersey, and Martin Cove was on the other team. And every time, and his team would salute him like he was sensei, and that he was very intense but very fun. But yeah, he said it was awesome. I got to play hockey against the bad guy from Karate Kid every time I saw him.
Did he ever check him into the boards and scream "No mercy"?
No, he would scream. Oh gosh! Oh god! I just brain farted on the line. There is no fear. There is no fear in this ice rink.
What was that, Lauren?
Do you know what brumation is? I could see him telling that story. Obviously that would have predated when that happened in Cobra Kai, but it's some of the best stuff I think he ever did. He's so good in that show.
He really is. The thing I love about Cobra Kai is that now that Daniel and Johnny are adults, you can do things like Daniel versus Terry Silver or Daniel versus Kreese, things that you couldn't do in the original. And so good. It's just so good. It's not it pokes fun at woke culture too. Like it's my favorite line is the girl comes in and she goes, my pronouns are she, her, and Johnny's like, the only pronouns in this dojo are sensei and student. Those are nouns. But it's when somebody tries to, Johnny's on the phone at one point and he's talking to somebody on the phone. And he's like, yeah, we have classes for boys and girls. What? You gotta be kidding me. It's a prank call. Like, it's so funny. The whole thing is great. The whole thing is so great. But you can't. It falls into the Better Call Saul territory for me, because I believe Better Call Saul is a better show than Breaking Bad, but it's only better if you've seen Breaking Bad.
I've heard that called intertextuality. You have to understand a different text to get to fully experience the one you're watching.
Absolutely. And much like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, Breaking Bad is a very good show. Karate Kid is a very good movie. Am I the only one that really liked Karate Kid 2? I feel like everyone dumps on Karate Kid 2, and I'm like, no, he was fighting for his life, man.
Like a knight in shining armor.
I loved it when I was younger, but when I watched it with my son, you can definitely see the flaws. You know, as you get older, it's like it doesn't work like it did when I saw it at the theaters back then.
Oh man. Yeah, so I'm very, very excited for this movie. So happy that there's not a Karate Kid multiverse. The only thing that we still have yet to see is what's her face from next Karate Kid popping up in anything. I was expecting her to be at the Seikai Taikai, and it's not a spoiler to say that still has not happened. Now I'm assuming when Jackie Chan shows up, they will make some kind of reference to I watched your dojo at the Seikai Taikai. And that's how he knows where he is or whatever. What was that, Kev?
I saw her do a radio interview a couple years ago. I think it was just before it officially jumped over to Netflix, and she said it was some kind of weird rights thing, but she thought they were going to clear it up, and apparently not.
Oh, apparently not. Let's take a look at some more holiday super chats, guys, because we've got a bunch more that have come through. Tyler Golasinski, member for 3 months, has said, I need clarification. Is Mufasa James Earl Jones, or is that the official name for the Scar character? Just trying to remember who the prequel is about. Mufasa is the James Earl Jones character. He will not be played by James Earl Jones, obviously, in the prequel. But yes, Mufasa is James Earl Jones, and then Scar was, why can't I think of his name? Jeremy Irons, yeah. Alfred was the first place I went there. He was a good Alfred.
Great Alfred.
My favorite is like, perhaps you'll meet a young lady in your dreams, Alfred. John Williams for $4.99. Story goes, Robin was meant to go over on Bruce Lee, but Bert said, that doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. What a mismatch. Like, you just picture like Batman and Green Hornet just having the like bow biff zonk, like battle, and then in the background it's just Bruce Lee doing like those rapid fire machine gun punches on Burt Ward's face. Hey, I'm with weird WDW Pro, aka William Thompson, gifted 5 Tooney Town TV memberships. I feel so bad for William Thompson. He was changing his name around to make like jokes and stuff that were popping all of us, and then he got stuck. And I'm with weird WDW Pro for 12 days.
I say, how many days does he have left in his prison sentence?
Oh no, William Thompson, are you going to end the year with this?
Should be 10 more days, so he'll just squeak by before New Year.
Oh boy.
WDW Pro with this case.
Thank you so much, William Thompson, for the gifted memberships. We really appreciate it. We're so glad to have you here, man. Very, very happy to have you here. Master of Puppets, member for one month. I hadn't heard of Karate Kid Legends before. Totally hyped. Yeah, I think a lot of people hadn't heard of it, and it's an exciting idea for a film. I'm very, very excited for it. Go and Shogi gifted 1 Tooney Town TV membership. Thank you, Go and Shogi. And a very happy holidays to all of you guys and a Merry Christmas. Tyler Golasinski says, hey, Marvin, what are your thoughts on Six Flags theme parks? I am still bitter that they took away the theme park in Houston. Now, I mean, I grew up with Six Flags Great Adventure, going all the time pretty much. Season passes every summer. So I enjoy Six Flags. First place I ever went on a roller coaster. I went on my first roller coaster was the Great American Scream Machine, which eventually became Green Lantern, I believe. And one of my favorite roller coasters I've ever been on was Superman's Ultimate Flight, which you would get in and it would turn you horizontal to the ground, and then you would fly like Superman. And I remember we were on it for the first time, and my friend was like, oh, what's the Superman theme? What's the Superman theme? And so I just started humming it, but the one I hummed was not the Superman theme. I started to go, Dun, 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 dun. It's the Lois and Clark theme.
Yeah.
It wasn't until we got off that I was like, wait a minute, I did the wrong Superman theme. Or the right one.
I thought you were going to go for the animated series theme.
Let me tell you something.
It was
That
like,
Lois
no.
and Clark theme the Lois and Clark theme's underrated, I will say. I mean, it's not better than the Superman. The John Williams theme is just the Superman theme.
I'm currently watching Lois and Clark. However,
You and Jonas both. Jonas is watching it too. I've got to have to go back and watch it now.
So I'll talk about more when we get to talk about the actual Superman trailer. But when talking to my North Star about these kinds of things, he goes, "Just remember, you bailed early," because he watched it all the way through. And I was like, "What was it? Oh yeah, Lois eating frogs. That's right." And then we made fun of the S changing sizes throughout the entire first season. First, the pilot, it's too small. It's itty bitty. Then they get to the super giant S. We're like, why is this so big? And wait, they ironed it on sideways. It's a little crooked.
Poor Dean Cain. I loved that I got to be on the pro show with Dean Cain. I mean, I was jealous. I was utterly starstruck. I was like just completely taken aback by the fact that I was communicating with my Superman, because that is my Superman. Like, everyone has like their Superman that they grew up with. Dean Cain was my first real, like, I was probably 10 years old when it came out. So, or what year? I was probably younger than 10, actually, now that I think about it. I never realized that he was Japanese.
Yeah, half something like that.
Yeah.
And he's so based now. Like, in reality, I just love him so much. Like, he was one of those don't never meet your heroes things, but I was like, no, meet this hero because he's awesome.
You know my favorite Dean Cain thing? It's when people on the internet conflate his A Different World character with him in real life. Like, he played a racist character on a TV show for 13 minutes. And they'll be like, well, what about when you said this? And they'll put a clip of a TV episode. And he's like, I was playing a character. What's wrong with you?
I was acting.
My favorite Dean Cain interaction was he was talking about people living in like a fantasy world for themselves, where they're like, they identify as things, and somebody was like, "Well, you weren't Superman either," and he just responded, "Correct, I pretended." John Williams for $4.99. Oh, those are my favorite lines ever. I want to smash the patriarchy. Yeah, I hate the Patriots too. Such a Johnny Lawrence line. I love it. Oh my goodness. Tyler Golosinski for $9.99. Also, I acknowledge Marvin the Movie Monster as my tribal editor-in-chief and his Lieutenant Commander Big Papa Bear Kevin Apollo. But no, I don't love you the same way as Jacob loves Solo.
I love you, Solo.
Oh, fantastic. I'm with weird WW Pro. I'm just going to start calling you William Thompson again, buddy. He says, he just became a member of the Tooney Town TV channel. Welcome to your channel membership. I'm happy to have you here, William Thompson. Liquid Fox for $10 Canadian. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to Kevin, Apollo, Trish, Lauren, Nolan, Martin, and the chat. And of course, our favorite monster, Marvin. Have a wonderful holiday, everyone. You have a wonderful holiday, Liquid Fox. We hope you have
Same
a
to
great
you.
life
Thank you.
with people that you love. Fantastic, guys. All right, so what to get into next? We've got so many articles to get through today. Let's see. We've got one. Oh, here's one that I thought was kind of interesting. And while we have Lauren, I want to make sure we do it. Because it is Star Wars related. The Acolyte returns in Marvel's Star Wars comics. Fans of the show claim it's not enough. Marvel has unveiled plans to feature characters from the Acolyte on upcoming Star Wars comic books for Black History Month. However, fans of the canceled Disney Plus show have claimed it's not enough. In another example of why you can't placate the mob, Marvel learned an interesting lesson this week when it announced plans to dedicate 4 Star Wars comic book covers in February to Black characters in celebration of Black History Month. However, fans of the Acolyte, a group not known for its laid-back attitude or willingness to express gratitude, fired back at the Disney-owned publisher for not doing more outside of comics. An upcoming issue of the Star Wars comic book Legacy of Vader will feature the Acolyte's Mother Anastasia. There you see the cover right there. Absolute sacrilege to have her on a Darth Vader comic book, especially when she shatters the lore of the Chosen One just by existing. Will feature the Acolyte's Mother Anastasia, the leader of the Coven of Witches at the center of Disney's widely panned Star Wars show, or as we like to call them, lesbian space witches. February's issue of, she's also known as Mama Yes, because as we all remember, she did this.
Yes, yes.
God, it goes right through me. February's issue of Star Wars The High Republic Fear of the Jedi features both May and Osha, the twins played by Amanda Stenberg, two characters who share one actress and one facial expression. Note that the Acolyte characters appear only on the variant covers for these comics. They will not feature into the book stories. Marvel will also feature Lando Calrissian from the Star Wars original trilogy and Vale, who was apparently a character from Star Wars Outlaws, the failed video game from Ubisoft. Now, Mace Windu from the prequel trilogy and Finn from the sequel trilogy are not featured whatsoever. Despite fan sentiment towards sequel trilogy, many fans see Finn in a favorable light and believe the character received a raw deal in the tug of war between directors J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson. Mace Windu is, of course, a hugely popular character with legions of fans, and yet these two were overlooked in favor of characters from perhaps the two most widely panned Star Wars projects ever made, The Acolyte and Outlaws. Has anyone here ever heard of Vale? Anyone?
No, but she does look quite a bit like a brown coat from Firefly.
She does. She definitely does. Let's see.
And much like Firefly, this will only ever be continued in a different form from its original context. Like
that's cruel. That's come on now, man.
Hey, don't blame him.
We're still sore about that.
Cancellation was the best thing that ever happened to Firefly.
That's actually
Hadouken.
Firefly's cancellation was the worst thing that ever happened to Buffy and Angel because Josh just threw a hissy fit and started putting the Firefly cast everywhere. But then Josh threw his hissy fit in Serenity and killed everyone off wildly because let me tell you something, if those characters had survived past Firefly, that would have 100% have gotten brought back on a streaming service up to this point. Right? The streaming services are looking to bring back everything from Arrested Development to Will and Grace. Firefly would have 100% been given the green light on something.
They could easily do a story about how whatever operative becomes Shepherd Book. Like a young Shepherd Book kind of thing.
Yeah. They could. So one might assume that fans of The Acolyte, who apparently do exist if online tantrums following the show's cancellation are to be believed, would be happy about this. However, outlets like Feminegra seem to think it's not enough. While comics expand Star Wars narratives, fans and cast members have made it clear that they want more, the outlet said in its official write-up. Marvel's celebration of Black History Month is a step forward, but Lucasfilm and Disney Plus must rethink their approach. Transitioning The Acolyte into additional seasons or new media formats would better meet the demand for diverse stories. Comics alone cannot satisfy the desire for representation and compelling storytelling in a galaxy far, far away.
Where's my Wheezy Jefferson clip?
You know what? We need to get that clip and just have it where like we bleep out the word.
The thing is, the comic sales figures. The comic sales figures will tell the story here. It's like Acolyte fandom was a niche product. Acolyte comic books are a niche of a niche product. If you didn't support the show, you're definitely not going to be supporting the comics. It's like, this is ridiculous. You people are so delusional that it's like, I say, you know what? Give them what they want. You know what? Keep shoveling it out and we'll keep embarrassing you. They're not going to want to publish the numbers on this because it's going to make it look even worse.
You know what it does? You know what it is, Lauren? It comes down to this one.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
But the old man here is Bob Iger, or Kathleen Kennedy, I guess you could say, because, you could just, the Acolyte was canceled because the show had a bloated reported budget of $230 million, as uncovered by That Park Place in UK tax filings by none other than our own Jonas J. Campbell. The high cost didn't demand, with the show pulling abysmal ratings and falling off the Nielsen charts for top 10 original streaming series in its 5th week. However, apparently, because of the, quote, demand for diverse stories, Disney should, according to Feminegra, shell out even more shareholder money to produce a show with virtually no audience. Absolutely.
Ask your doctor before using Feminegra.
Kevin's killing me. I can't.
It's so douche chilling.
Do I not have the "There Are Dozens of Us" clip? I don't think I have it here. I think I'd actually add it into this.
No one's right. It does sound.
There are dozens of us. Dozens!
No.
Like I was saying, Nolan's right. It does sound kind of like one of those drug names you see on commercials.
It does. It really does.
Guys, I have to step away for just a minute, but I promise you'll appreciate the reason why. I'll be back in just a few minutes.
Color me in.
Oh, now I'm excited.
We could do a drug commercial for it, but Kevin would have to be the spokesperson.
Call your doctor if you think Feminegra is right for you. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. But yeah, I what a tone deaf thing to say. Like that, it's not enough. We need more. I'm like, get out of here, please.
We need more of the thing we didn't consume.
Yeah, like not if you really wanted it so much, you should have just you should have shown up when it was time to show up. I hate it so much.
It launched some YouTube careers.
It did.
It did. Let's see. I'm just
thinking of Kevin.
What?
He was tapping out. You were still reading the article, and he just couldn't with the name. Just couldn't. He was just tapping out.
Feminegra. That's like your worst. That is your worst nightmare. It's like if hell is personalized for everyone, your hell would be the newsroom at Feminegra.
I would become the Doomslayer.
Oh my god. All right, guys. Let's get to a few more super chats that we have had come in. Mr. Jamie Jam 88 for $9.99. Soon as I got my Sonic 3 tickets, I realized Sega's been on fire since 24. Yakuza Infinite Wealth, Persona 3, Metaphor won 3 Game Awards, Sonic Shadow, Yakuza TV show, and of course Sonic 3. All hail Sega!
Heroes rise again.
I have not done. I have not played any of the Yakuza games, but I've got them because of PlayStation Plus. I guess I gotta play them. William Thompson for $2 says, "I'm never changing my name again. Merry Christmas." And I gifted 5 Tooney Town TV memberships. Congratulations and Merry Christmas to everyone who got those. John Williams for $4.99. Why was there location shootings in Acolyte when the whole point of those giant screen monitors in Mando was to reduce the need for sets? Because Leslie needed to spend her money. I legitimately think, somebody made this point the other day. I think it was a friend of mine that said to me in private, like, I think what happened was this woman had no earthly idea what she was doing in producing a show this big and had no idea how to allocate budget, and it got completely out of control. That has to be what happened. Or they're money laundering. One or the other. There's no way.
I would not be shocked if KK pulled a Kurtzman and moved some money around to do something else. And yeah, I just wouldn't be shocked because I just watched, we all suffered through it together. And I don't think a single one of us can tell anybody where that money went to. I just don't know.
I made a comment a while back. I was on a stream with Lou about how I think there needs to be more small budget, mid budget movies, and Lou said, "Oh, you can't skim $1 million off of a $3 million movie."
That's very true. Much easier to skim $1 million off of a $230 million situation. And Butter Biscuit, member for 1 month, says, Marv, for the love of God, please get new clips. I caught up on 2 months worth of vids this past week, and your clips got real old real fast. I agree. I know. I thought that people didn't get tired of clips because Critical Drinker always uses the same clips. And I'm like, oh, people like it with the drinker, they'll like it with me. And I got enough complaints where I'm like, okay, I will get new clips. I promise. So today's video that came out had no clips in it. And I'm just kind of focusing more on the rants. So that feedback, guys, has been heard and understood. So don't worry. I actually listen to and incorporate your feedback on the channel. All right, Lauren, you got something for us?
Yeah, I acquired something from Marrakesh.
What
is that?
That is the idol from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Where'd
you get it?
So cool. That's my latest acquisition. That's the Belloc version of the prop.
Fantastic. Oh, Lauren, that's so cool.
Yeah, I thought that would be worth. I thought that would be worth breaking out. It just showed up on my doorstep. So
I have a friend who, years before they were actually producing like actual replicas of it, they had he got a friend of his who was like a smelter to like make him a mold out of it. Or I think they used the mold from the film. Like someone had the mold from the film and they actually made him a version of the idol. But now you could just buy them. So I'm like, wow, that doesn't really matter anymore, does it? And by the way, James T, member for 3 months, says, hey, everyone, was wondering what you're most looking forward to in 2025. Silence. That's what I'm looking forward to. No, I'm kidding. No, I am most in 2025. I am most looking forward to. I don't know if there's any like. I'm really looking forward to seeing the backlash to Snow White. That's one thing that I'm very much looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to. I guess growing the channels. If you know, I can give like a very like diplomatic answer. I don't know, Kev. What are you most looking forward to in 2025?
I don't know.
I'm supposed to go on another cruise if that counts.
Stuff and things and stuff. My Todd McFarlane Christopher Reeve Superman figure. It comes with an alternate head. It comes with the drunk evil Superman 3 head. I'm tempted to buy 2 so that I can have the evil Superman.
What about you, Trish?
I haven't honestly thought that far ahead yet. Like, to me, I'm still catching up to the fact that it's December, 19th? When did that happen? Like, I haven't...
All day. Today.
Yeah, no, I am
Martin. Cheeky monkey. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still trying to catch up to December, honestly. Like, straight up. He asked, and I'm like, I don't know.
Lauren, what about you? Oh, somebody just had a good one out there, and I think I'm going to change my answer to that. Epic Universe. Thank you, Eric.
I think I would say,
what about you?
If we do another That Park Place meetup, I think that's the thing that I'd be looking forward to.
Apparently, we are going to do one from what I've heard, and this time I get to go, so I'm very, very excited for that also.
Yeah, there goes the neighborhood.
You talking about when you and I are going to be roommates. I shed, though.
Lauren can
Martin,
carry the trash can.
What about you, Martin? What are you looking most forward to?
I'm writing a book, and I look forward to finishing that.
Fantastic. That's a great goal for the new year. Nolan, what about you?
Nintendo Switch 2, baby.
Really? You're looking more to that than Epic Universe?
Well, the Epic Universe was already said. That definitely is my number one. In fact, I think I talk about it like every day at this point. We even have a trip calculator that's literally counting down the days for us. So it's definitely the top thing. And I'm very excited to hopefully see someone there while I'm there too.
Lorena, right? Probably.
Lorena. Yes, but someone who might be in closer proximity.
All right, guys, it's time. We have
get it, Nolan.
Close-up proximity, like right now.
Like,
you mean, I know you mean me, but I
I meant the mystical voice of Marvin the Movie Monster. Yes, you.
I'm looking forward to seeing you again too, buddy. All right, so let's get into it, guys. Let's get into it. Here we go. Yamcha. He's literally Yamcha in the first second that we see him.
Superman fought a Cyberman.
Wasted.
So thoughts on the fact that the first second we see him ever officially, he's bleeding in the ground.
It would have worked more. You know,
Martin,
I remember we were talking about this a few streams ago. Didn't we cover a story where it was saying like Warner Brothers was upset about the trailer and they were wanting it reworked before it came out? My little theory after seeing this trailer was that the original trailer probably wasn't showing as much stuff, and it was probably just him in the snow, probably like, you know, getting some help and all that, and it was supposed to kind of set it, but maybe Warner Brothers thought it was a little too weak. That's my little conspiracy.
It's possible. Possible. Kevin Apollo, thoughts on Superman being Yamcha here?
Like Martin said something. We totally.
Oh yeah, Martin, what were you saying?
Well, I was saying at first I was against it, like my initial gut reaction, but then I realized the big complaint, and it's a legitimate complaint about Superman, is the power creep, and there's nothing that can match him. And so you need some sort of enemy on his level that really tasks him. So, thank you, Kevin.
Tasks me. I shall have him.
And so, you know, how can we say Superman needs a real challenge and not let him
be
challenged by it?
I agree. I have no problem with Superman bleeding. Some people were like, Superman shouldn't bleed. I'm like, have you not read The Death of Superman? Or any other comic book where Superman gets punched in the mouth by somebody who's as strong as him? Because it does happen, and he does bleed.
And the thing that makes Superman...
My favorite part of Superman too. My blood.
And if what I'm hearing is correct, then the villain of this is Lex clones Superman and creates Ultraman, and the clone degenerates and turns into Bizarro. That was the plot that I had heard. And the trailer basically seems to confirm that. Bizarro can hit him hard enough to make him bleed.
So I had mixed feelings. I understand why we went the way we went. My first thought was, I feel like he still looks a little wimpy in the costume, so this didn't do much to assuage my fears of him being wimpy. That said,
you don't like his power shoulder pads?
Yeah, you know, so I have a friend who I go way back with, who was my OG ride or die with the super geekiness. He is my North Star. I will refer to him as the principal because he's a principal. Superman and Luke Skywalker are his absolute favorite characters on the planet, to the point that he named his son Luke. If he could have gotten away with naming one of the other kids Cal, he would have done it, but his wife probably would have killed him in his sleep. So when we were talking about the trailer, he said, I know why you think he looks tiny. It's because of the collar. Anytime you do anything with Superman, anytime the cape comes across, or anytime the neckline is narrow as opposed to being wide, it makes him look small. So he said that's why you're having such a hard time with it. 2, just going off of how you, similar to how you needed to do something from Superman Returns, you had to do something very different from Man of Steel. So you had a very powerful Superman in Man of Steel all the way through. So to kind of open up and have him be vulnerable, it was an interesting choice. And I guess the only other thing that I was like, you know, if I wanted to bring my under 8-year-old to the movie, I don't know if I'm super happy with having him spitting out blood from his mouth in IMAX, but that's you know, but that's a weird it's like a weird modern space. How do you balance younger families things and get everybody happy at the same time thing? But whatever.
Yeah,
but it's okay.
Right.
So far so good. So whatever.
Yeah. You get his wheezy breathing. Okay, there it is. Okay, I will say one thing. This moment did a lot for my belief that he's too small, because he towers over everyone. So he's definitely big. He definitely is larger than your average human being.
Tall doesn't mean big.
That's true. That's also true. But guys, you know what I'm gonna say. TK Tooney Khan. He looks like Tony Khan with his alpaca haircut.
Hair is horrendous.
So clearly we're going here with the concept of Clark Kent is the mask, because he's being all dweeby here. I don't like that. My Superman, like I said, is Dean Cain, and Dean Cain very famously did the, Superman is what I can do, Clark Kent is who I am. That is what I prefer. There is nothing wrong with doing the Superman as the mask. Clark is the mask. It's just not my preference.
Let me push back on that real quick, because the Christopher Reeve's Clark was unique to the fact that Christopher Reeve was the first person to do that to Clark. Everybody else kind of played Clark. Well, I guess at the point would have been Reeves, but even in the comics, Clark wasn't a buffoon. He just kind of hung out in the background. He was strong when he needed to be strong, but he was unassuming. Because Reeves was so much bigger than everybody, and because this was the first time he was going to be on the movie screen, Richard Donner very cleverly pondered the question of, well, he's just wearing glasses. How do we make him look different? And Christopher Reeves took the time to figure out how to change his posture and actually shrink himself so that Clark looked different than Superman. And it was just something that carried over into the comics, and was very influential during the John Byrne run. But that kind of goes away later, like when Dan Jurgens takes over, and in turn when he gets to Lois and Clark, he's just kind of back to being a nice guy.
Yeah. I remember there was a line in Lois and Clark where he was like, because when he talked about like revealing his identity, and he said, like, once I reveal my identity, I can't be Clark Kent anymore, and like Superman can't go to a ball game with Jimmy. Like it's not a thing I can do. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, guys. Lauren, what's your opinion on this?
Just this take on Clark, or the trailer as a whole?
On Clark.
I hate the hairdo. I absolutely despise it. But that's not enough to judge his Clark on, and that's, in a lot of ways, that's the problem that I have with this trailer, is that this trailer does not sell me, but I'm willing to be convinced, there's enough weirdness in this trailer that we'll see as we go on that it's like, I'm not sure what this is, but I'm curious.
It is very tonally interesting. Yeah, no, and here's the thing. I think he can pull it off. I legitimately do. I'm not the curmudgeon on this this panel. That is my my friend Kevin Apollo here. But let's continue on to see what Tony Khan does as he makes his way into the building here. By the way, Daily Planet looks great. Daily Planet looks fantastic.
I like how there's actually color in this movie.
Yeah, I was a fan of not using Sepatone for 500 hours.
Yes, thank you for not sapping the color out of it like certain other hack director did.
Like the mine in Powerpuff Girls that just takes the color out of everything.
Exactly. Good pull, Nolan. Andrew Mima says Robert Pattinson pulled off Batman. I think he could pull off Superman. I mean, Kevin Apollo would fight you on Robert Pattinson pulling off Batman, but I think he was a fine Batman.
I think Robert Pattinson was a great Kurt Cobain in a Batman suit.
Would you like GPS though?
Okay, so there is our first look. at the marvelous Mrs. Lane.
She has dark hair. Finally, I've waited like my entire life to see a Lois Lane with black hair. Thank you. Continue.
Well, you should have watched Superman and Lois. You would have gotten it like 5 years ago.
Or Terry Hatcher and Lois and Clark.
He did it.
Terry Hatcher is the GOAT when it comes to Lois Lanes.
And Margot did it.
Yeah. We've always had black-haired Lois Lanes. What do you? Is
Amy
Amy Adams
the movie?
Lois Lane? Was Amy Adams the only Lois Lane you've ever seen?
No, in the Christopher Reeves, her hair was red, wasn't it?
Margot Kidder?
No, that was Lana.
Margot Kidder? No.
I think you're thinking of Superman 4.
With
that's-
Lana Lang.
Yeah.
Or was that 3?
Okay.
That was 3.
That was
And then
3.
O'Toole,
And
yeah,
then she ends up playing Clark's mom in Smallville.
Yes, which was a great pull. Now I like Rachel Brosnahan. I like The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I think it's a great show. I think she's great in it, and I think she's going to be a fantastic Lois. So. And of course, we gotta draw attention to the Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Because please come see our movie. Please,
Yeah,
please,
that's-
please, please, please.
That's for the
I don't
movies.
fault them for it. I don't fault them for it. That's why you got James Gunn.
Look, James Gunn pulled off. James Gunn broke the comic book movie curse.
Yeah.
And had 3 successful comic book movies in a row.
Hey, guys, what do you think about like the Kent house? The farmhouse looks very small. In
I would live
Smallville.
there.
That's appropriate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
It's
the
always
house.
it's always portrayed as this big, huge farmhouse. But I like this like little ranch style. And this is where I was like, thank you. Because Jonathan Kent is alive. And he actually looks like a farmer from Kansas and not an aged Hollywood heartthrob.
I don't know. I'm not feeling the casting of Jonathan Kent.
I'm just glad that he's there and that he's alive. I hope Mark
The hair is better here.
I thought you meant on John.
Me too.
And I was like, "What hair, Lord?"
I thought you meant Jonathan also.
It took me a second.
Keep this man away from tornadoes, please.
Yeah.
Use that as the don't go into the bathroom meme.
Okay, this electric guitar riff of the trailer, I love it. Or of the theme, I love it. It's fantastic.
I'm gonna fight you on that till your dying breath. I hate what they've done to
like it?
I hate it. I hate that they did this. If I'm gonna hear a John Williams Superman theme, I want the orchestra. I don't want this crap.
I think this is just for the trailer. I think it's just for the trailer. I think you'll.
I don't
way.
care. This is sacrilege. This is not. I get what they're doing. I know what you're doing. I don't like it.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm very smoothie shorts on this. Get it right or pay the price.
For a teaser trailer, they picked the wrong song anyways. It should have been Planet Krypton.
I don't know. I like it, guys. Agree to disagree. Speaking of things I like. Okay, come on.
Crypto, the super
Come on.
Crypto,
That's adorable.
Are we also going to
That
be
is-
getting Ace the Bat Hound?
They,
I
oh
hope-
God, I hope so. They
And
made
the cow.
crypto.
And the cow,
They
too.
made crypto the goodest boy ever. I love it.
All right, but see, this is the kind of stuff that loses me. It's like I want a good Clark story. I want a good Superman story. Are we doing 60s Batman here? What are we doing?
Oh, you
Selling
can do
kids
crypto.
Not wrong.
You can do crypto in a crypto. It's a thing that will appeal to kids. And I'm sorry, I am tired of DC. As Trish just said, it's a thing that will appeal to kids. And I am so tired of DC movies that children can't watch.
Look, I'm not disagreeing there, but what you're doing here is Silver Age Superman. And if you're going to do Silver Age Superman, the tone for this thing is wrong. That's what I'm getting at.
Oh, yeah, I can see
I'm not
that.
personally saying I love that it's for kids. It's just that's what I thought was like, okay, here's our thing that we're going to make toys of and plushies.
You shouldn't. There should not be a Superman movie that you can't take an 8-year-old to.
I agree.
In my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I was gonna say I don't mind Crypto. I was kind of joking. Like, I live in a world where I got parademons and Crypto in a movie. I never thought it would have ever happened. My only complaint is that he just cast his dog instead of casting the proper breed for Crypto, because this is not Crypto from the comics. This is James Gunn's dog.
Yeah. Well, let's be real. Zack Snyder, he would have been a pit bull with a machine gun.
He would have never used them because he's in the Christopher Nolan camp of, it doesn't make sense. It's not realistic. And I always go, people want realism in their movies. They don't want realistic.
He's a flying man from space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why can't he have a dog?
I'm assuming this movie is pulling from Secret Origin and Kingdom Come.
I hope it's pulling from Secret Origin, because Secret Origin's a fantastic story. And I've been saying for years, that's the blueprint to a Superman movie, is Secret Origin. Even if you're not doing the origin story. But they're not going to do Metallo, because Metallo was Secret Origin. But hold on, guys, because here's my favorite part of the trailer.
Same.
Come on.
That's awesome. That is everything Superman right there. Right down to the posture.
This looks
That
like
is
it's in the
right.
Kaiju. This looks like it's in the Kaiju fight.
Yeah, and this they get right. I love that scene where he is acting as the shield for that little girl. That's perfect.
Yes.
That's the right tone. I still don't know what a kaiju is doing here, but
He always
this
fights
is
a giant monster.
When I
Even
heard
that cape
Ultraman was
movement.
going to be in the movie, I didn't think this is what they meant.
Even that
Alright,
gate movement is perfect.
Yeah, I just want it one more time to see that. Look at him actually save a human life.
He saved
actually-
people in the other movies. Stop
Oh, stop it.
conveniently
No, he
leaving that
didn't.
out.
He brought the entire
The
city down with a
entire
fist fight.
military
He
fight in
jumped over.
Smallville,
He
was
jumped
saving
over an
soldiers.
oil tanker.
Stop changing
jumped
history so you
over
can
an
make your
oil
narrative
tanker
work.
and let
You
it
are you're
explode on a
fake
building.
news. You're not being honest. If you're gonna do it, you gotta do it right. I don't buy it. MSNBC over here.
I'm going to vote for Kevin in the next election.
BBS
I'm
would bring Wayne Enterprises down on Jack's head.
I'm starting a super PAC for Kevin.
He saves soldiers in Smallville. He does, and I do. That's why the Smallville fight scene in Man of Steel I love. But then we get to the point in Batman versus Superman where we have the lamest cop out ever, where they're like, "Well," when the newscaster's like, "Well, thank goodness it's after the workday and that entire section of the city is deserted because that's how cities work." Like, are we in Angel Grove?
Well, first of all, there's nothing about the Zod fight that makes sense anyway. Aliens invaded the bleeping planet the day before. Why were people at work?
My thing is, I was like, wow, Perry White is a real stickler to work for, I guess.
I can understand the planet being full, but why was the entire there wasn't, I don't know, there wasn't like an emergency lockdown or something? Like what?
Yes,
What?
the entire city of Metropolis should have been completely evacuated by that point. I agree with you. But no, there's very few moments of him actually having these very one-on-one human moments where he saves one person, where he goes out of it. That's what you always say. Your favorite scenes in Superman Returns are the plane scene and the scene where he literally saves the entire city, and he's just going around saving everyone. That's what he's supposed to do. That's what we lost out on. I'm sorry, like this cop out of like this Angel Grove, like, oh well, Goldar's attacking. Good thing it's the abandoned warehouse section.
That we got an entire montage of him saving things in Batman versus Superman.
We got a slow motion montage of him pulling He was pulling a ship, and
Saved
lady extending her hand up toward him like he's like
a bunch of people. He saved actually from an exploding shuttle. He saved people. Your rage is clouding your vision.
Also, he threw a drone out of the sky that was trying to watch him. That's the most American thing ever.
Yeah, that really
is true. That is true. If only he lived in New Jersey. All right. Okay. I liked that moment. Because there's nothing more Lex Luthor than watching Superman fly past your window and turning around in a huff of just pure hatred and rage. I mean, some people say they don't like the way Nicholas Hoult looks as Lex Luthor. I think he looks fine.
That's the only thing I actually liked.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I say I 100% liked it. And the Luthor.
I like seeing a version of Lex where he's just visually like super upset. It's not like one of those where he's just kind of scoffing or just kind of like a little bit annoyed but still has the plan. Like that is like reminds me of like the animated series from the 90s, like, you know, with him, the rage, like crumpling up the paper and all that. Like that's just tried and true Lex to me. I think they nailed it.
So let me ask you, do you think we're going to get Lex in the LexCorp suit? The mecha suit?
Lexo suit?
Yeah.
I think so, Lauren, because later on when we see the Skybeam thing from the original production image they put out, it's blue, it's purple and green. So I think it has something to do with Lex.
See, now, tonally, this starts to make more sense to me if that's what we're actually getting here, because that's more of the 80s kind of Superman. This obviously isn't taking place in the 80s, but that's a little closer to the vibe that I'm getting from this, where it's just bananas all the way through. Maybe that makes it work better for me. I don't know. It's still, this trailer's weird.
It is kind of all over. I like this Luthor Corp building, though. Now, I'm wondering if maybe Lionel is in this, and that's why it's Luthor Corp, and eventually we'll get Lex Corp. But Luthor Corp, I thought it was weird that they went Luthor Corp and not Lex Corp.
They always like to do that. They always like to have it start with it being Luthor Corp and then having Lex do something to get her all the board, and then it's Lex Corp. But we'll see how it goes. I personally am a Lex Corp person.
I am too.
Superman.
Okay, come on, that's good. That's good.
He's just saying Superman. You want me to get my kid? I'll have my kid say Superman for you twice.
Now, hold on.
That's the hope that he inspires. It's the kid is putting up the flag to draw him in because they're in trouble, and he's calling out to Superman. God,
if arachnids from Starship Troopers were in this scene, all of this would make a lot more sense for me.
It does kind of look like it.
Thanagarian Snare Beast.
This is the moment that a lot of people. This is the moment that a lot of people said was like their moment in the trailer that they really loved was to see this child calling out for him as as a hero.
Superman.
Hold on, we'll get to you.
Oh my God, that hair.
We'll get to you in a second. But Stag Industries.
I know. What was Uncle Fester's name in the first Addams Family movie when they shaved his head and sent him to infiltrate the mansion?
Was it Herman? Was it what was it?
It reminds me of that.
No, it looks more like Addams Family Values when they put the wig on.
Oh, was it? I'm mixing it up. Yeah.
So first of all, Stag Industries, which gives credence to the idea that we're getting Metamorpho in this movie at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But
well,
look, here he comes. I gotta find actual
hold on. When you get to this, I have a reference. I had to look it up just now to make sure. I think it's Mad TV.
Yes.
Michael McDonald. Is that his name? Michael McDonald on Mad TV.
Yeah,
that's the first thing I thought.
Right.
That's that hair. That's all I'm gonna think of.
It's so bad.
I have so many emotions on this. There is an in-universe reason why Guy has the Mo Howard haircut in the comics.
What is the universe hair? What is the universe reason?
When Guy, when we meet Guy, you find out Guy is supposed to be Hal's replacement. They realized that they didn't want to replace Hal, so they needed to get rid of Guy. They gave Guy a traumatic brain injury, and he was gone until Crisis. And then he came back a little arrogant, a little pushy, and a little weird, and that's why he had the Mo Howard haircut. So they could put up the fact that he was a little off kilter. He has not had this haircut since 2002. Why did you do this? And then it's the Guy Gardner Warrior costume and not the actual Guy Gardner Green Lantern costume. So now it just looks like something they would have rejected from putting someone in on Legends of Tomorrow. You are in bad shape when you are not good enough to be a CW suit.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, like, everyone's arguing with me like, oh, but it's comic accurate. I said, look, not everything from the comics needs to be adapted. No. Like, this looks ridiculous. Either cast somebody else who could pull off the look, or don't do this to Nathan Fillion.
That's Nathan Fillion?
So bad.
Yeah.
I didn't even recognize it.
Oh, you didn't know? You didn't even know?
No, they clowned.
Oh, wait, Nolan's right. Fester's name was Gordon.
Gordon.
Oh my God, that's Nathan Fillion. I mean, I see it now.
Why is Hawk Girl wearing a raked out bicycle helmet?
I know.
Because the CW costume was better.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hold on. If I may, before we move on from this, I'm not a comics person. We needed to get rid of him, so we gave him brain damage.
Well, it was
the thing that happened.
Just a little brain damage.
It was the 60s. It was the 60s. It was.
I'm just saying that sounded insane.
I would say that if you happen to get bored and happen to stumble across old DC comic books, especially Silver Age stuff, it is bat bleep bonkers. It's some of my favorite stuff. Superman Clark Kent had a mermaid girlfriend.
That was a bad time to take a drink.
Yeah. Supergirl's horse wasn't actually a horse. It was it was an alien centaur who fell in love with her and didn't want to leave her, but he couldn't stay, so he wished himself to turn into a magical horse, and he became a magical horse and wore a cape. It is bleeping bonkers. I love Silver Age DC.
It sounds like Legends of Tomorrow.
It's just you throw a bunch of stuff up against the wall and like, okay, yeah, we'll work. It'll work. We're gonna make it work.
And so many monkeys.
So many. There's so many monkeys.
Was that Lauren?
Do not look up Reverse Centaur.
Yeah, don't do that.
Nolan
All right.
goes to the keyboard.
No, I'm keeping my hands away this time.
We've got to immediately move on from this because I can't look at this anymore.
Nathan Fillion.
Kiara doesn't look bad in motion.
No, it doesn't look
I gotta make a counter here. I love the helmet. I think the rest of the costume's kind of whack.
Yeah, the rest of the costume stinks.
Colors are weird.
It stinks.
It stinks. Good pull, Trish.
Thank you.
And there we have a kaiju, an adorable kaiju. I think that's the opening scene of the movie, because they said that the movie is going to open with a bang. And oh, guys, speaking of opening with a bang, I don't know how I'm going to draw that into
play a Ricky Martin clip.
What?
Play a Ricky Martin clip.
I don't have a Ricky Martin clip.
Oh, I see. Oh, it was no one's fault. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Well then, problem solved.
She banged! She banged! She banged!
It was Nolan's fault for Spencer. I get it.
It's no one's fault, not Nolan's fault. But the fact that this sounds like Nolan's fault is a thing that I'm going to start saying.
I was like, what did I do?
That's what it said. Well, I just made it better, so you're welcome.
Spencer,
you always make things better, Trish.
Get caught up. Your thoughts on the trailer up to this point?
Thoughts on the trailer up to this point. I only really have two up to this point, which is one, crypto.
I agree. I agree.
That's my number one. I'm a true crypto bro now. I'm a true crypto bro. I believe this crypto can actually go to the moon. So I am in love with crypto. But then I just wanted to note one thing, because you guys were talking about it right when I came up in. Those suits are supposed to look like kind of trash. So what the plot is, at least what we know about that, is that Justice League or whatever team it is, so Mr. Terrific, Hawkgirl, and Guy, they're like corporate superheroes. They're like working under like Max Lord tech or whatever, and so all their suits are supposed to be like uniforms. No,
Stag
it's
Industries
Lord.
maybe, or
it's Lord.
Okay.
Lord's in it too. Yeah,
they've got Lex Luthor, Maxwell Lord, and Simon Stagg in this movie.
I don't think Stagg's going to be in it, because I was actually talking to a friend about this earlier. I don't think Stagg will actually be in it because don't you think we would have heard casting about him by now?
Like, that you can't keep that one secret,
right? And like because we know Steve Lombardi, the sports reporter for the Daily Planet. I feel like if we know his casting, we would know Simon.
But then how do you do Metamorpho though without him?
Well, he's already Metamorpho.
Yeah, I was actually talking about this. You can either just say it already happened, like Kevin was saying, like, oh, it happened off screen, I got screwed over, blah blah blah. I think they're going to go more of, I don't think they're really going to touch on his origin too much. I think what they're going to do with Metamorpho is like they're going to somehow either like Max Lord and Simon Stagg or maybe even Lex have like really drilled into his head that he's like a freak. Like, oh, you're a freak, Metamorpho. Nobody's going to love you. Of course, you're going to be a danger. You have to work with us. And that's the only path you have to being a hero. And then he's going to see Superman, who's an alien, breaking those rules. And he's going to go, no, I don't have to work for this jerk. I can be a hero on my own. And then he'll go into like a block or something.
Do you think they're going to try to borrow from Kingdom Come, where Superman shows up and he shows the way to be a better hero among all these darker, grittier?
I think he's going to, but I don't think it's going to be him like trying to do that. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's just going to show up and start saving the day, and everybody's going to be like, oh yeah, like that's a hero can just do that. They don't have to fill out paperwork. They can just save me. And then that's probably going to make Guy Gardner angry.
This is interesting. LK said, James Gunn said today he showed the trailer to an actor who was in the trailer but has not been announced yet. So there are still some casting secrets, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a feeling that the plot is going to be a mix of Secret Origin, Kingdom Come, with a little bit of the Elite storyline, where we're probably at a point in Superman's life where he's been around for a little bit, right? Because it's not an origin; he's been around. But you have these rougher, tougher, grittier superheroes with probably corporate sponsorships being a little rough around the edges, and we get to where people kind of think they don't need Superman. And I'm assuming the scene with the kid in the desert is the impetus for it, because we have that famous Superman goes to a foreign country to stop something and kind of gets put in his place a little bit. So I
had heard that was supposed to happen in this. That was going to be a plot point.
That explains the S shield they chose too.
Mm-hmm. I'm assuming we're going to go through the movie where the public gets disenfranchised and wants the bigger, shinier, newer heroes, and then something happens that only Superman can handle, and then everybody goes, "Oh yeah, that's right. We do like this guy, and yeah, there is a better way to do this."
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, moving along. So I think, by the way, I think Kaiju Battle is going to be the first thing we get.
I agree with you on that, Marvin. I really think, because I think that's where we already saw the little girl, right?
They said the movie starts in the action. So
okay, yeah. I'm right there with you.
All right, so there's whatever the heck that thing is. It can't be a thing that's actually a threat to Metropolis, because he would not be sitting there talking to Lois during it.
No, there are other heroes. We don't know the context yet. He could have just gotten like beaten up and like, hey, or he probably could have just rescued her. You know,
so Kevin, on that bent, like we've seen a lot of people, and that's not a like Marvin's read's not invalid considering what we're seeing. But to your point, Kevin, obviously a lot of people are going like, oh, why is Superman waiting? Why is he all beat up? Why does he need another pep talk from Lois? And I kind of wonder, because remember, we have that one promo shot where he's putting on the boots and it's it's a semi-casual feeling, right? There's no feeling of like imminent danger in that shot.
No urgency, yeah.
Right. Yes, urgency, Marvin. That's what I was looking for. I wonder if this is going to be a scene where like Lois starts having a crisis, because she already knows Superman, and so maybe this is him being like, listen, like I hear you, but I have to go do this. Like I have to go save them. Otherwise, we're not making it out of this. And then they have that big old smooch.
Lois, don't worry about it. Lantern has this. It's fine. It's what he's here for.
Did you not see
Mr.
his
Terrific?
haircut?
Oh, you missed that.
Mr. Terrific is all over this. Yeah. The just I'm noticing though it's purple and green, so it might be Lex Luthor related.
It looks kind of pink to me.
Well, if we're gonna do it, and I feel I have my best feeling so far is Lex, right? I feel like he's gonna nail Lex. We all know Lex's specialty is to invent a crisis. So
yes,
I'm just going to assume that this is a Luthor tech monster that it's going to end up with Superman and Lois know it was Lex, but nobody else knows it was Lex.
Mm-hmm. All right. By the way, they are very, very clear in this. They're like, "Hey, he's a heterosexual male in this." They are very, very overt about it.
Plot twist: Lois is trans.
Your gun is sticking into my hip.
Okay. How about them kneeling? I'm thinking that might be Kelex.
Oh yeah, no, that's 100% Kelex. And this is the only trailer from the scene that I kind of like don't like, and it's only because maybe this is just me, but this shot right here feels way too like staged and fake, and Kelex looks too good, and I'm like, this looks like a Boss Logic like Photoshop.
It kind of looks like one of those AI generated images if you made it like an actual image.
Right, exactly, Nolan. Like I'm not against it. I love Kelex. I'm excited, but the way this shot is presented, I'm like, what's going on here?
I will say his bicep and shoulder look very big in this shot. So maybe it was strategically done.
Oh yeah, you're probably right, Marvin.
All right, I believe that was Metamorpho.
That was Zordon.
Yeah. I thought I was like, wait a minute, who the hell is Zordon from the rebooted Power Rangers movie?
I had to go through like 3 different times because I couldn't tell it was him at first until like you center in on the back and you see like the purple shoulder and you're like, oh, okay, now I know who it is.
Yeah. So. Look at that Lex rage.
It's so good. I love that shot. That's such a good shot.
Really looks like Lex Luthor. Like
that's the Lex who's about to go unhinged. Yeah.
I don't want it in this movie. All I want when we're like a couple movies in is my favorite set of panels from the end of Up, Up and Away when they're fighting in space and he damages the Lex suit, but he also loses powers and they're just falling towards the earth. And the only thing Lex says is, I hate you.
All right, so right there, I think that's Ultraman.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's
or whatever version of Ultraman they're doing.
Yes, we saw in the set photos he has a U on. He has the Ultraman symbol on his chest. So
also,
Superman.
Can we just? Or go ahead. Sorry, no, you finish, Marvin.
Yeah, well, Spencer, I'm assuming you heard the same as I did. Superman clone that Lex creates that degenerates into Bizarro.
Yep, that's the same rumor I've heard. But what I was going to bring up, Marvin, was this little bit right here where he's fighting in the stadium. It put such a giant smile on my face and made me laugh because it's like, remember Man of Steel and Superman just like beat Zod up and everybody in the middle of the city? Like this Superman goes, let's get you away from people. Like let's go to the empty stadium and maybe we'll only be here for like 3 minutes because we can fly, but at least we're away from people.
Yeah. It's the Goku move. So let's fight somewhere else.
Yeah, yes. And so we're gonna go to the screaming of Craven.
Mr. Terrific. They made the mask look okay. Great. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can't really see what like the kind of shape that he's in, but because he's supposed to be an Olympic level athlete.
Yeah.
So
he is, and I also feel like people forget that all the time. Not that they're doing that here. I just feel like that's a really forgotten fact.
He's not a runner's physique.
He is. Yeah, he participated in the Olympics. So he's supposed to be super jacked. I don't know. I feel like we did casting based off of the fact that some comic book artists just have a hard time doing a black guy's haircut.
You look at a decathlete; they're the best athletes in the world. They're not super jacked.
Yeah. He should be like Usain Bolt sized.
Right. And there we've got the the shot, the floating kiss, the iconic Superman and Lois shot, which I love.
Can you read my mind?
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead, Nolan.
Speaking of the shot, I just wanted to say, I know it's a trailer, so it could be misleading, but I gotta say it's very refreshing to see such great cinematography in a superhero movie. Like, these shots are all like, I think they're using their wide-angle lens very well. They're letting the environment speak in a lot of ways more than the characters in some instance. Whereas I feel like a lot of the recent stuff, is trying to bring all the focus into the actors to kind of hide from the poor effects or just the gloomy background. Like, I feel like everything kind of speaks and was very well thought out. So I gotta give major props to James Gunn on that so far, because I hope the film delivers what we're seeing, because I am a sucker for great cinematography.
Yeah. By the way, we don't end on the name of the movie. We end on the studio. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I was like, if you don't know the name of Superman, I don't.
Obviously, but to me, that's saying like they are making a statement with this movie where they're like, this is the start of our Superman of our DC universe. Join us here. Get on board. Don't forget the Creature Commandos exists.
No, please forget Creature Commandos.
Please forget Creature. Yeah, if I didn't watch Creature Commandos, I think I'd be in a little bit of a better place.
Yes, right.
Yeah,
but Kevin, that imagery made me laugh really hard. Like, yeah, can I get one ticket to the Flying Guy movie? Like you guys saw the trailer, right? With the monster and the green thing. Like, can I get
one ticket to DC Studios, please?
they give you one ticket to the one screen that they have screening Birds of Prey still.
Oh.
If I could add on to a point you made, Marvin, I kind of like what you're saying there. Also, how they're not showing the name at the end, just showing the DC logo. It's very reminiscent of in 1989. The promotional work for Batman. A lot of the promo stuff was just the bat symbol, and you knew who it was gonna be. Like, right. I think that's kind of got a lot of class to it.
Baby.
Not that movie.
All right, so now James Gunn spoke out a little bit after the trailer aired, and some of the things he said alarmed me. I think maybe I'm just a little. I might be a little too on edge, but I know a lot of people kind of shared this, so I took a little look at it on that Marketplace. So Superman preaches goodness, but political subtext from James Gunn stirs unease.
James Gunn.
So earlier today, audiences were introduced to the first teaser trailer for Superman, the new film by James Gunn that will kick off a new era and universe of DC movies. The trailer was met with mixed reactions, with most admitting that it did feel like a more hopeful, joyful interpretation of the Man of Steel. However, potentially politically charged comments made by James Gunn soon after made eyebrows go up throughout an exhausted fan base desperate for some escapism and a Superman free of political messaging.
I actually reacted the opposite way.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. We'll get into it.
Okay. So during a press preview on the Warner Brothers lot, Gunn articulated a vision of a DC universe that is unapologetically interconnected. The universe he's presenting fully embraces the Superman mythology and its vast pantheon of heroes and rivals. As Gunn explained, this Superman lives in a world with superheroes. Quote, superhero movies have taken these characters and said, okay, it's Batman or it's Superman, but it's not any of the other stuff, Gunn said. For him, that approach is outdated. We're embracing all of the Superman mythology. He has friends who are other superheroes. He has people he doesn't get along with as well who are superheroes. He has a lot of things that we love from the Superman comics that we haven't been able to see as much of in filmed media, and definitely haven't been able to see in a grounded way, which is what I hope we've created. Now, he says, my DC universe shares as many elements with Game of Thrones as it does with the Marvel universe, in that he claimed that he wants a world that feels lived in, complex, and authentic, where magic and power coexist with everyday struggles and personal failings. On its face, this expansive vision should delight fans longing to see Superman finally showcased alongside a broader tapestry of heroes. Yet, the carefully curated sound bites, the overt talk of innate human goodness, and even the subtle references to contemporary American strife prompt a cautious question. Can Gunn deliver a story free of the bitter political divides currently afflicting American culture? For all his talk of a kinder, more hopeful Superman, Gunn also acknowledges that we do have a battered Superman in the beginning. He says that is a reflection not just of the hero's journey, but of the country itself. That is our country, I believe in the goodness of human beings, and I believe that most people in this country, despite their ideological beliefs, their politics, are doing their best to get by and be good people, despite what it may seem like on the other side. Now, I included a tweet from Pro here that says, James Gunn has to be very careful not to make this movie political or controversial. The cost would be billions to the DC universe. And look, I personally don't think that this is going to be a movie that's going to be filled with politics. However, I think our antenna are all kind of up, and I think people are very like you can't even give the whiff of it anymore. I think
especially because it is James Gunn. James Gunn has my quote originated with James Gunn. James Gunn is the arson who set everything ablaze every chance he got, and then got caught in his own fire. So when he says it, you're like, I get it. I'll give him credit. You know what? I think it was in 2022 where he was like, no one wants to hear this anymore, so we're not going to do it. But then Creature Commandos comes out and he did it.
Yeah, that's
my favorite part. Well, my favorite part of Guardians 3 was when Star-Lord is meeting with the High Evolutionary, and the High Evolutionary is like, yes, I've been to your planet Earth. It's a wonderful, beautiful planet, except for all the systemic racism. And Star-Lord's like, all right, enough. Like he literally was just like, okay, no. Like, just, and I was like, okay, that's James Gunn kind of giving the oomph to, to whatever you want to call it. But Spencer, what did you think?
So here's my read on this statement. I actually take this in a more positive light than, like, you're not wrong, Marvin, that people are going to have their antennas up at the mention of anything political. But I think this statement is more of what we should be looking for in our entertainment, in our interactions with other people, because at no point in Gunn's statement does he say like, oh, America's, beat up right now because of this, or because of these people, or because of that ideology. He straight up just says like, we are a battered place right now. And we got to remember, and this is what I loved about that statement, because this is what I believe as well, is that regardless of ideology or political leaning or opinion on whatever, we're all just trying to get by in a difficult world, and we're all trying to be the best people we can be. Most of us are, right? Like 90% of the population are trying to do that. So I think trying to remind people of that we have more in common just in the human experience than the petty little arguments we get into a lot. I think that's going to go a long way, especially in a Superman movie. Now, I think the way I've seen a lot of people talking about, oh, James Gunn is saying that America's beat up, that we're not great right now, that we're all broken. What the hell? He hates America. And I'm going to go and push back against that, because one, we are right now. We are a completely divided, beat up society that is at each other's throats over the smallest thing. I mean, come on. President Trump just won 2 elections on the slogan, "Make America Great Again." What do you like? If that's not saying our country's not perfect right now, I don't know what is. So I think acknowledging that right now the country is super beat up, but that there is a commonality that we all should be moving towards, and that Superman can represent that. I think this is, I have a lot of hope from that. Again, I'm kind of with Kevin. We've seen what James Gunn does. This doesn't get him out of the woods until we see the movie. But I think this is sort of what we should be aiming for if we want to sort of bridge the gap. Like we see that scene where Superman gets like dinged by the coffee cup, right? Like everybody is Superman. And I was talking to a friend, and he's like, oh, are they going to try and make this like a political allegory or whatever? And I went, no. I don't think this is political allegory. I think this is just people are afraid, and that's like, and they just need somebody to be angry at. That's how it is in real life. And you can sort of see that in the fact that that's how Gunn's handling it, because Superman does not react, period. Like when he's walking into that hall and then he goes to the Simon Stagg like thing, he gives no mind to everybody. And to me, that sort of signals that he's going like, they're angry and I get it. It's, I'm not taking it out on them. They're not the ones I have the problem with. It's Lex who's doing this. It's whatever. So
Olsen Johnson is right.
Huh?
Kevin got it.
You said.
Olsen Johnson is right.
You've also got to assume that Lex's plan in this movie is to turn the people against Superman. So
I'm guessing it's to turn people against Superman, and I really hope that bit at the end that we were all like, oh, look at him going all like crazy Lex. I hope that's him realizing that nobody's going to turn on Superman for real.
People will never turn on Superman.
Yeah, exactly. He's just like, no, mine, no. He's like the guy in Scrubs. My machine, mine.
Well, that's why I really like
my
the
city,
idea.
mine.
I really like the idea of the Lex Luthor from Secret Origin, who was Metropolis's golden boy.
Yes,
Luthor. Sorry, the Lex Luthor from Secret Origin, who is Metropolis's golden boy and can't stand the fact that there's somebody else more popular than him.
That's the beauty of Lex, though. Lex is Superman without the super strength, but then when the guy shows up and he has the strength, he has the one thing Lex doesn't have, and then he's popular on top of it. Lex's own hubris is Lex's worst enemy. The Lex would be someone who could solve all the world's ills if he would just get over having to share the limelight, and you
bring that up, Kevin, and it reminds me, like, the scene I want to see now. Maybe it's not going to be 1-to-1 because of the story differences, but I forget which storyline it's from. But that shot where like Lex knows his plans are defeated, and he's like, "Yep, okay, the Justice League are coming for me. I can't believe again." And then you just see like Clark, and he's like floating outside of the window with like Diana and I think like Kyle Rayner and John Johns, and he's like, "Lex, open up the window," and Lex is just like he like hits the button. He's like, "I'm beaten," but I want to see that.
I also want to see, and I think we'll get it at some point, because I have a feeling that because it's just there are certain stories you can tell they want to tell, and I feel like President Luthor is something that they just have to do. I'm shocked
they do.
I'm shocked they haven't done it in the comics with the way things are going.
No, don't do it.
I am really pissed off that Marvel beat them to Mayor Kingpin before they got to President Luthor, because it never should have happened.
I know.
Wow, I didn't even think about that, Marvin. That is a fumble.
Am I the only one that feels like they should try to, at least for a little while, avoid President Luthor like the plague, with all everything going on right now?
True. They would not be able to help themselves.
I don't know. I kind of think President Luthor was sort of a thumb in the eye of Bush, anyways.
Yeah. Well, listen, everybody's got to remember too, though. Lex was actually a really good president.
Yeah.
Lex fought aliens. Like the people were behind President Luthor, and we just had to kind of like derail it so that we could tell Infinite Crisis, and they gave me a reason for it, because it was the Alexander Luthor clone that was driving our Lex crazy. One of my favorite endings of a story of all time. You
didn't let the Joker play.
Who's stupid, Kevin? You called Lex Luthor stupid, and he devised a revenge plan that took 42 issues.
Perfect, Lex.
I feel like you can do it because listen.
Because of the what?
Depending on how you feel about the guy, our Orange Man. There's a little bit of charm to the Orange Man where you can sit back, and if you like him or don't like him, you can laugh at certain things. He's fairly entertaining. As long as you're not too ham-fisted with it, because by the time we get to President Luthor, he's going to be gone. He's going to be gone, and we're going to be past it. You can,
he's not going to be here in like 4 more years.
It's over. So like you can do President Lex and have a little bit of fun with it, and borrow some iconography, and just tell a President Lex story. Because at the end of the day, the fun of Lex Luthor is we know he did it. Well, it's what was that movie, that show that Viola Davis was in? How to Get Away with Murder.
Peacemaker.
It's not what you know, it's what you can prove. That is the fun of Lex Luthor. We know he did it, but you can't prove he did it. That's why he always gets away with it in the end, or why he always gets a presidential pardon at the end. So I feel like Lex is going to do something really bad and gets away with it, and still winds up stealing the love of the people. And that'll kind of be like his, I can't beat you, but I can beat you here, which is the most fun dynamic between him and Clark, is that they are stalemated, just not in the way that not in the way that either one of them wants them to be.
Yeah. Guys, Lauren, I know you have to get going. So give us your final thoughts on this trailer, and then we will see you off, my friend.
It just gives me a weird vibe. I'm not sold, but I'm willing to be convinced. There was a lot in here that I didn't like, but it wasn't enough to poison the well for me. So I'm just curious. I want to see what do they give us in the next trailer, and that'll give me a better feeling for how I'm going to feel about this thing.
Well said, Lauren. Hey, Lauren, tell the people where they can find out more about you and everything that you're doing.
I'm frequently on Pro's channel. You can find me on the Genre Guys on with Lou Wasserman's Ghost and Hangry Table. You can find me here on Thursdays. I have a YouTube channel at Lauren Connor 9030 or Lauren Connor on X.
Fantastic. Lauren, thank you once again for being an important part of this panel and for helping us out here tonight. We love having you here, and we'll see you next week, hopefully.
You bet. Have a great time, guys.
See you.
Bye, Lord.
Bye, Lauren.
All right, guys. We got to get some super chats because they have been piling up. These holiday super chats that we've got. Let's see. John Williams for $4.99 says, "Add Big Show Titantron before it says, well, add Watch Dynamite." Jamie Earhart, member for 2 months, says, "Using my freebie to say sup. How you doing? Merry Christmas and love you all." Pretty goated chat, by the way. Yep, I agree. Very goated chat. All of our folks here in the chat are definitely always goated. Jamie Earhart, thank you. Doing well, and Merry Christmas to you as well. Love you, buddy. JPS, member for 3 months, says, "Soon it will be January and the cycle begins anew."
It's already the end of December.
I know. Butter Biscuit for 5. If I have to hear talk about dancing on a casket or I don't care, I will go nuts. The worst is the Leslie voice you do, Marvin. Stop it, my ears.
You mean the Rachel voice?
The
Rachel voice goes through me.
Yes, well, it's the same voice. It's Leslie Hedlund, Rachel Zegler, Mercedes Monet, and today on the Pro Show, Alyssa Mercante are all the same voice.
Right through me.
So, but yes, Butter Biscuit, don't worry. I'm getting some new material. Don't worry. I just, I came up on the Critical Drinker, and he plays the same clips every single thing, and I always laughed at them. So I thought that I could get away with it, but I guess I can't. James T for gifted 10 Tooney Town TV memberships. Thank you, James T.
Nice.
That was very, very generous. Oh my goodness.
James!
We have got to play a clip for you, my friend. And you know what? Let's play a little.
Shields up.
I just love the matter of factness of it. Just the. You know what? I think we could play one a little bit better for that, because that is a big gifted membership. So let's give it my favorite.
This world will beat you down, beat you with a stick,
How do you not have Shut Up Wesley?
You're right. I should have Shut Up Wesley. Well, I'm going to add it to the list of the new clips that I will eventually be getting. John Williams for $10. Casual reminder: Christopher Reeve was casted because they thought he would be perfect for Clark and wanted to just have him wear pads as Superman, but Reeve didn't like the idea and worked out. That's because that's what a man does. My favorite scene in the first Superman is when he just casually stands up straight when he's Clark, and you see Superman, and you just see that transformation take place.
Like a second, yeah.
It's so good. JPS for $2 says, "So we're getting white Uncle Phil." It's Jonathan Kent. Oh no.
That's a.
Oh no.
I was gonna make a joke
Uncle
about
Phil.
John Goodman, but that's way better.
Oh no, it does. Oh, Matthew Johnson, member for 2 months. "Oh, you monster. Love when you talk about Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. Your thoughts are mine. I'm jealous of your wife." Oh, okay. Trish equals summertime sadness.
Got
that. But that might be something hip the kids know, and I have no idea what that means.
Oh boy.
Lana Del Rey.
JPS for $5 said, "I'm already liking this Superman more than Snyder's trash. In James Gunn we trust." I hope we can. I really hope we can. Liquid Fox for $2 Canadian. Godzilla versus Superman. I'd buy that for $1, and I agree. I would too. And Butter Biscuit 92 for $5 says, "Your first mistake, Marvin, comparing yourself to the drinker." You're right. How dare I?
Hadouken.
Yeah, you're better. I'll stand by that. Nobody else has to stand by that. I will put my name on that statement. Marvin, orange puppet, good. Orange puppet, good.
The drinker is undefeated, as Ray said.
It's a shame hashtags aren't a thing anymore.
Orange
Dude,
puppet
right?
good.
Yeah.
Kevin,
really
okay,
do
so
have to
earlier today I made a tweet. I'm sure you guys all saw it. It's not that important, but I shared the pictures of crypto from the trailer and I said, yeah, I'm a crypto bro. And then I hashtagged it, Kevin, to the moon. And I was like, that's part of the joke. But I had a second where I'm like, man, I'm going to get flooded all day by like stupid crypto account. None. And I was like, oh, so hashtags are just not a thing, period, anymore.
Well,
like,
I mean, your friend Elon posted about that the other day. He shared a Grok. Somebody asked Grok about hashtags, and Grok like cut a scathing promo about why hashtags are dumb and why hashtags don't work on X anymore. And then Elon shared it. So
that's funny because I asked Grok about using hashtags, and it recommended using them sparingly.
Yeah. I guess it just depends on what kind of mood you catch Grok in.
Grok's getting feisty, all right?
He is.
He's a fickle creature.
And like the first time they tried to like turn on a Twitter AI, it became racist in like 10 minutes.
Oh, that's like every AI they've ever tried before this current round.
Every AI just instantly gets super racist right away.
I remember when they gave Watson access to the internet, IBM's Watson, and it just got foul-mouthed and started cussing at everybody.
No,
like in like 20 minutes. It was not long.
Took that long?
All right, guys. Let's talk about this weekend's box office. Let's talk a bit about Sonic 3. And then after we talk about this story,
that's why I'm here.
We will get Nolan's spoiler-free review of the film since he has seen it already.
He has.
Yes.
But we can thank Sonic for the reason I'm here tonight because Mr. Ripaverse decided he wanted to go see Sonic.
Oh, okay. Well, Sonic 3 predicted to race past Mufasa for weekend domestic box office lead. Disney may face a major embarrassment this weekend when Mufasa the Lion King opens against the highly anticipated Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Industry experts predict that Disney will fall short, with Sonic 3 expected to defeat Mufasa in the domestic weekend box office. Now, that's important. Yes. Domestic. We'll get into that in a second. Tonight, Sonic and Mufasa will go head-to-head, igniting a Christmas box office race that has become the talk of Tinseltown. Disney enters this contest with every advantage. For starters, Disney controls the premium theaters. It will release Mufasa in nearly every IMAX, Dolby, and 4DX theater. The film also gets a 3D release, which Sonic is not getting, and more total venues than Sonic. Mufasa will show in 4,000 North American theaters versus Sonic's 3,800. When you consider the fact that most theaters are showing Mufasa in at least 4 or 5 theaters, the 200 really adds up. At theaters like Disney Springs AMC in Orlando, Sonic only has 1 screen in the main auditorium and 1 in the adjacent dine-in theater, while Mufasa will appear on 5 screens. The Lion King name also carries more weight than Sonic. The original animated classic embodies Disney's 1990s renaissance. The Lion King live-action remake once held the record as the highest-grossing animated film of all time. That might be my favorite sentence I've ever written. The Lion King live-action remake once held the record as the highest-grossing animated film of all time. This year.
CGI.
It was on purpose. This predecessor to Mufasa earned an astounding $1.6 billion. The original 1994 Lion King animated film grossed $763 million in 94, which adjusts now to over $1.6 billion. And yet, industry watchers still expect Sonic to win. Like, that's insane. Variety, historically friendly to Disney, estimates that Sonic 3 could open with 55 to 60 million domestically, compared to Mufasa's estimated 50 million. At first glance, it looks like a close race, but remember, Mufasa claims the lion's share of premium theaters and a 3D release. For Sonic to start at such a disadvantage and still put ahead by $5 to $10 million suggests that the blue blur will captivate far more viewers this holiday season. And it makes sense when you think about it. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 has become one of the biggest boy brands on the planet. Disney once cornered the boys' markets with Marvel and Star Wars. However, Disney's C-suite brain trust decided to reimagine these 2 lucrative franchises into modern girls' brands that also promote divisive social content. As a result, Disney has pushed more middle-of-the-road and conservative families toward outside IPs like Sonic and Super Mario. It's important to note that experts predict Mufasa will win internationally this weekend for one key reason. Sonic 3 doesn't open overseas until Christmas Day. That's why these comparisons focus on the domestic office only.
So okay, so you'll at best maybe have one weekend where you win out internationally. Like, come on now.
Yeah. Yeah. So Mufasa.
We're winning in the third quarter. Call the game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because of
you
this,
know exactly
Disney,
what Disney's going to do, though. It's going to be glom goals all day.
Yep. Because of this, Disney will tout Mufasa as the #1 movie in the world after this weekend, and they will technically be correct. The film will enjoy a nice head start and face stiff competition later, so it'll be interesting to see how long it can maintain the momentum. Now, reviews of the two films tell a much more important part of the story. On Rotten Tomatoes, Mufasa had a 58% positive rating, while Sonic 3 achieved an 85% positive rating, which means Mufasa was rotten and Sonic was positive. Even if Mufasa opens big, we could witness what I call the Moana 2 effect. Moana 2 launched on the back of its predecessor's success, something Mufasa will likely attempt, but poor critical reception stalled its box office growth. A film that the media once claimed could break $2 billion has only reached about $700 million after nearly a month. And if Mufasa truly delivers a subpar experience, stagnation could set in. And if Sonic 3 earns strong word of mouth, it could change the game this holiday season. And you know that Paramount is super into it, because Sonic 4 has already been greenlit ahead of Sonic 3's release. And that is coming in spring
Hey,
of
now,
2027.
they announced that today. Midnight release was yesterday. Oh, no, wait. Midnight release is tonight. Never mind. I'm
Tonight.
stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shut up, Nolan.
They announced that.
3
They announced
p.m.,
it today.
baby.
All right. So, guys, it's time to hear about how this movie was. And for that, we turn to our good friend, Nolan Thunder. The floor is yours, sir.
Hello, I hope it's the dance floor. All right, so this is going to be a little bit challenging. This isn't like, like a proper article to be written where I got a lot of prep time and an opportunity, to dive into every aspect. So I'm going to have to wing this a bit, but I hope you guys all appreciate it. I am doing everything I can to not just sound like a screaming 10-year-old at a Toys R Us, because I am a very, very happy man right now. My theater clapped several times, and sometimes I think I was clapping louder than the kids were. It was such a blast. Every minute of this movie, I think, was orchestrated beautifully to where I think kids are going to love it, because the pacing was brilliant. There's stuff always going on. There's a lot of very intriguing moments for all the characters. There's a lot of action. It kind of reminds me a bit of like how 90s movies used to be, where, there's a lot of more of a fun spirit. It knows pretty well it's a movie, so it's cheesy, but at the same time, it kind of cuts out the fluff of everything. I would love to go more in depth with, like why this film really hit it out of the park, but I'd be reciting so many different scenes, and I do not want to spoil anything about this film for all those that get to see it, because I mean it when I say it. This film is worth the price of admission, and it's one of those films you can quote and you can remember the rest of your life. I was a very happy camper as a very big Sonic fan coming out of this movie, and I think it had an amazing message about family, morality, and just the importance of, honestly, living a life that you're proud of. I don't want to go in any plot specifics, but the fact that I can connect this much to a film about cartoon hedgehogs more than I can films that are aimed at adults and trying to convey a message. And I think the beauty that lies in Sonic 3, without giving anything away, is the fact that a lot of modern day shows and TV shows are telling you a message because that's their political opinion. They seek out the thing of, you need to be on our side with everything. I believe this movie is very big on the importance of putting aside your bias for a greater good. And you don't even have to be spiritual in that sense. So in other words, I think this film is amazing. Please take your kids to it. This film exceeds just being, say, a boy brand, so to speak. I know it's in your article there, Marvin. You put that in quotation marks as well. Mm-hmm. There were a lot of girls, a lot of women at that. People were dressing up as the Sonic characters. I didn't see anyone dressed up as Simba. There were there's just so much hype. You could feel the vibe of excitement in the room. And I was so excited about a popcorn bucket. And it
so
was great.
much autism.
Oh, what is that popcorn bucket? Let me see.
Yep, it's got
Thank
Sonic,
you, Kevin.
hey, Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, and then it's got Shadow in the background there. Yes,
Okay.
and then it's got the logo at the bottom. And I also had to get a Tails cup because I like Tails, and Tails is awesome.
I do like Tails. And I really like that they cast Tails as the voice of Tails from the game, the current voice of Tails from the game.
Right? He is my favorite voice actor in this, and no offense to Mr. Keanu Reeves himself. He is a god amongst men, but
how was his performance?
How dare you, Nolan? A god, not the god? I have words.
Let me give you the ultimate compliment.
You're not breathtaking, Nolan.
Let me give you the ultimate compliment to your question, Marvin. He was so good as Shadow, I forgot he was Keanu Reeves. That's how good.
Interesting.
Shadow.
Okay.
That's my favorite compliment, and I will say, out of the 3 movies, also this is Jim Carrey's best performance too. He knocks out.
Interesting. Excellent. That's good to hear. Now, how would you say? Do you think that people who are walking in there, like not kids but adults who played Sonic Adventure 2, are they going to leave there very satisfied?
Absolutely, because I spent a lot of the film, studying how is this gonna appeal to people outside of me as the geek who grew up on Sonic Adventure 2. Sonic fans are going to be feeling right at home because I feel like the formula of this movie needed to be, we have all this awesome stuff that Sonic fans love that isn't always going to appeal to, your common moviegoer who might not be a Sonic fan. I'm impressed that they threaded the needle on everything, all this, lore, true to characters, hype moments, things that only fans will get, but you have to make it make sense to the common people, because they managed to somehow balance everything almost perfectly. And I can tell you right now, any Sonic fan who grew up with this sort of thing should be leaving satisfied, unless they were somehow coming up with expectations that the film just wasn't trying to be. I feel like the people who will love this film the most are going to be Sonic fans. I think it's the best of the trilogy. And I feel like the Sonic Adventure 2 fans should be a shoo-in for the people who are going to love this film the most, even more than maybe the kids.
Let me ask you this one, Nolan. Do we get too much of the human characters in this?
I would say no. Now, I am coming from a perspective.
My barometer of this is in Sonic 2, we got too much of the human characters.
I would say in this movie, my opinion is no, but granted, I didn't mind as much the human characters as some of the other ones, but I feel like out of the 3, this is the one that utilizes the human characters the least. And granted, now there's plenty of humans because you got, you consider like Dr. Robotnik one of the human characters.
Eggman's a game character.
Yeah,
I'm talking about
that don't count.
Donut Lord and Coffee Girl and all that.
The Chris Thorndikes,
so
yes.
Handsome.
Yeah, no,
I just want to avoid when Sonic 2 ran out of budget and they turned it into Black Ladies the movie.
No, it's not gonna. No point in this film does the film come to a screeching halt. They are in the movie, but I feel like out of all the movies, they are utilized the best out of all of them. And it's another reason why I think this one's the best, because I feel like the human characters, even as someone who likes them, doesn't intrude on the overall plot. And I'll tell you, what makes this film great is Shadow. It's like there's a lot of things that make it great, but his story is extremely fascinating. If you played the games, you know why, and they do it very, very well. And in a lot of ways, they do it a lot better.
Well, now I'm even more excited. There you go, guys. Nolan's review of Sonic 3, and I will be getting my review next week here on the show. And let's get to some super chats before we move on to our main event topic here, which is going to be the top 10 Christmas specials list. Let's see. Where did we leave off? Liquid Fox for $2 Canadian said, Merry Christmas, Spencer, and a Happy New Year. There you go.
Oh, Liquid, thank you. Merry Christmas to you. It's that season. I love this season. This is the best.
I think he said Merry Christmas to all of us earlier, and so he had to get you.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad to be included, Liquid Fox, and I'm glad you could include me in the Titans as well. You know what? To make up for not being here, that $2, all yours, Martin.
Jamie Earhart for $20 Canadian. Thank you so much. Says, since this is a Christmas show, I want to go big, at least for my wallet. Simply want to thank all of you for your work, effort, and entertainment. Thank you, Jamie Earhart. That means a lot. Also want to highlight Trish for all of her chat interactions. It makes a difference. Is Trish here?
No, she left us. She's like, look at these nerds and their video games and their comic.
I wasn't sure if she walked away or if she was just like sitting there, like taking a break, like a breather.
I find the girls always leave when you start talking about video games.
Quick, Martin, start talking about Supernatural. So come back in a second.
All right. Well, we need her back because we're about to start doing the Christmas list. So I don't know what's going on.
Anyway.
All right.
If we're trying to buy any time, I would like to say that I gotta give. Trish is back. Never mind.
Trish, look. Look, Jamie Earhart said, I want to highlight Trish for all of her chat interactions. It makes a difference.
Thank you, Jamie, and thank you for noticing my shirts. I appreciate that every time we chat. So
by the way,
that makes a difference too.
By the way, you guys will notice I just made Trish a wrench in the chat, so Trish is an admin now.
Oh,
now?
I figure if you're gonna be in there, I might as well put you to work.
This wasn't discussed, so this is as news to me as it is to everybody else.
So if Trish kicks me out of the chat, do I get kicked out of the stream at the same time?
I would
no. I think it's different. No, it's just you now you like Kevin and I now you have the power to boot people out if you need to.
I can boot people out.
Hear that, people?
Can, yeah.
Can boot you
out.
definitely
can, Kev.
My word.
Trish, if you were to boot somebody out, it would have to be from YouTube. It wouldn't have to be. It couldn't be through StreamYard. So
I wouldn't know the first thing about doing that right now, so it's kind of an empty threat. So
no, take it a step further. Kick them off the internet.
Right, if only I had that power. I'd get out.
If we boot people out, can we immediately cut to a clip of General Zod Ursa being sent to the Phantom Zone?
Yes.
We need to cut to that clip from Scrubs when JD sits down next to Turk and goes, "Bitches leave," and then what's their name is like, "Oh hell no," and then Carla's like, "No, they're playing a game. It's a movie."
John,
excuse me. Hold on. I just saw something in the chat from BR Geist, my girl. Was it the mention of Supernatural that successfully lured me back? Why was that mentioned when I wasn't here? I sat
literally
through Karate Kid and Superman with barely anything to say, and I go for 10 minutes, and that's when you all bring up Supernatural?
Did we mention Supernatural? I don't think we did.
I did. Because when Trish was gone, Marvin, you were like, well, we need Trish back here because we're going to do the Christmas thing. And I went, Martin, start talking about Supernatural. She'll come back immediately. And she did.
Did I really? Was the timing really that great?
Yeah.
That's really funny.
It legitimately was that perfect.
We just started going, Supernatural, Sirius Black, Henry Cavill.
Spike.
Trish likes things Trish likes.
Spike. Because I like annoying Marv with it, Spike.
Oh,
GNR.
John Williams, member for 1 month. It says Gerald being alive totally changes the dynamic from Sonic Adventure 2, but given recent info revealing that Gerald was someone who broke his family to save Maria, that's going to be an interesting thing. I can't wait to see how they're going to make that work. I'm very excited for this movie, so we shall see. All right, guys, it's time for our Christmas special top 10 list. So this is how it's going to work. We've put together, each of us, our own. Spencer, have you done this?
He wasn't here for it.
Well, I told everybody in our group chat.
Spencer, can you hear me?
Spencer, are you still there?
Can you feel me near you?
All right. Well, we'll find out.
He's just like
he's not even muted.
Trish, quick, talk about Kamen Rider. Spencer will come back.
Yeah, whatever that is, come back.
Anime, weeb, woo.
Japanese things. Liquid by the way,
Japanese
Liquid Fox 2000
things.
Canadian says, I apologize for my comment last Saturday, Trish. What did Liquid Fox
When
say
he
last
said
Saturday?
that Buffy should be with Xander.
Oh,
Liquid Fox. I forgive, but I don't forget.
See, Trish, you see how your name has a little wrench next to it now?
Yeah.
In chat?
I see.
There you go.
I like that I have a
Man,
color.
I love that. I just love the Shang-Chi actor. That guy, he's just such
Oh
a
my God, yes,
Spider-Man
Simu Liu.
man.
Simu Liu is the best.
Simu Liu
Don't we all love
so
Simu Liu,
great.
guys?
You know, I think in 2025 we need to be looking for him Best Actor Oscar. No question about it.
For sure.
I was in the store and actually took a picture of a Shang-Chi figure just so that I could drop into the chat at random.
Just to enrage Spencer.
Yeah.
I don't know where he went.
In case we ever need it.
Always okay. All right, so here's how this is going to work. We will first each go through and give our number 10, and then everybody will comment on each person's number 10. If you have that thing in your list coming later, then you can just say, I withdraw my comment for now, and you wait until you present it. How does that sound?
Fair and
good.
just.
Everybody good?
Yes.
All right. Well, let's hope Spencer comes back somewhere in the middle. Do you want me to start it off? I think I'll start each round off, and then we'll go me, Kev, Trish, Nolan, Martin, Spencer.
Clockwise, as it were.
Yes. All right. Number 10, and these Christmas specials encompass TV and movies. So we're pretty much, all encompassing here. Number 10, Jim Henson's Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
I knew you were going to put this on yours.
A delightful little romp. My goodness, it's adorable. It's slightly creepy in some places when they start doing the marionette stuff. Scared me when I was a kid. I was scared of the River Bottom Gang. I have always hated the fact that the River Bottom Gang wins and like never gets. Oh, there you are.
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm here. So yeah, I had to run away for a second because my dogs were like going insane. You probably heard it at the very end of what I was saying. But what's up?
I didn't. But no, we're doing our Christmas special top 10. Did you do one?
I've got a top. You know what I do? Let me put them in order. I did it really rough because I've had a lot to do today. But come to me last.
Yeah, you go last. So we're doing them one number at a time. So we're doing my number 10 right now.
Perfect.
Emmett Otter's. Excuse me. Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. I really liked the music in it is beautiful. I love the mechanic of when they're riding in the boat. I love it. Fantastic. And anybody else have anything to say about Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas? Anybody not seen it?
I don't think I've seen it since I was a kid. Yeah, exactly. I'm with Martin.
It's been a long time for me too. Even though I own it, it's been a while.
Yeah. I just watched it a couple weeks ago. So, When the River Meets the Sea is a fantastic movie. A fantastic song.
You definitely remember more about it than I do because I don't remember song titles or anything. I just remember like the whole. But you know what I mean.
So when I was a kid, we had the John Denver and the Muppets: A Christmas Together album, and one of the songs that they sing in that is "When the River Meets the Sea." And I was like, I don't know this song. Where the heck's this song from? And then the first time I watched Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, I was like, oh, that's where it's from.
I keep feeling every time you talk about the song, we're about to be taken off of YouTube. Because it lines up very close with a certain political slogan that lots of people use right now.
Yeah.
What is it? I wasn't really like putting it.
It's the.
We'll talk later.
Yeah.
I'll put
it in the private chat. We have one of those.
Merry Christmas.
Holy heck!
Well, they come to that.
I didn't even think of that. Oh, that has not aged well, has it?
You've said it like 5 or 6 times since I came back, and every time I hear it, I'm like,
why didn't
"What
you
is
stop me
I'm
after
like,
the first time?"
Because that is the name of the song.
Yeah, it's a 2-word difference. You're okay.
It's a beautiful song. It's
a lot of people agree.
The branch, the dry holly. It's really nice. Oh my goodness. Oh, now I'm embarrassed. Okay, So,
Happy Hanukkah.
I'm going to give an honorable mention here because I just watched this last night, and it's the Christmas. Jim Henson's the Christmas toy, because let me tell you something. Pixar done stole that story for Toy Story.
Yeah,
He did.
Like full on.
Legitimately did.
But they made it less terrifying.
Yes, way less terrifying, because it is a rather horrifying concept, because the toys come to life, but if they get caught by a human being in a place where they weren't when the human was in there last, they literally die. And they
Marv, are we doing our entire lists, or are we taking turns at 10 and then turns at 9?
We're taking turns. Yeah, we're each doing a number.
He's just being sneaky and sticking another one in there.
Hey, because I know you're gonna do it, so
you
I'm
need
just doing
consent
it
to stick things in places.
That's our.
All right, Kevin Apollo.
Did
you're
I
number
do
10.
that?
All right, so I didn't actually have an order, but I'm assuming. Well, I'm going to say this one just because I want to make sure no one steals it from me. Lethal Weapon.
Your face when you said that, you were just like, defiant lethal weapon.
It was going to be that of Yogi's First Christmas, but I'm assuming nobody has Yogi's First Christmas.
I genuinely didn't know you did a Christmas special.
I assume no one has mine number 10. So,
all right. So, Kevin, talk to us about Lethal Weapon being a Christmas movie.
Lethal Weapon is a Christmas because it opens up with a Christmas song. The Jingle Bell Rock is playing the entire opening montage. We have a scene where they're going to buy Christmas trees. The Gary Busey screams, "It's bleeping Christmas," while a Christmas Carol is playing on Mr. Murtaugh's television when he goes in the house to kill the Murtaughs. The end of the movie. So the prevailing theme of the movie is you have two gentlemen who do not get along. They're forced together. One is in a state of grief where he's being self-destructive, and the other one is questioning his place in life. As the movie progresses, as we march closer and closer and closer to the big Christmas day, they learn to get along. They learn the lesson and value in forgiveness, in family, and trust and faith in one another. And after all the bad guys are vanquished, they sit down and break bread during a Christmas dinner, none of which happens in Die Hard, which is why it's a movie that happens during a Christmas party. Die Hard 2 is more of a Christmas movie than Die Hard. Stop
Preach!
Preach!
Can we?
They hated him because he told the truth.
Can we just make this your yearly Christmas rant?
It's time for the Kevin Apollo Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie rant.
Have Kevin make the rant and then upload it literally every year on Christmas. Same video. Maybe like if you have a new intro during the year, put the new intro on it, but just that same rant every year.
Yeah, you got. Can you get me a rant about this for the members this weekend? Thank you.
I even have a red sweater that I'll wear.
All right.
In the archives, there is a Park Place article where I outline that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
My man.
Look that up. I might have to repost that one for you.
Such a family over here.
Trish, you're number 10.
No one has this. It is the NBC TV movie from 1986 version of Babes in Toyland with Keanu Reeves and Drew Barrymore. I loved that as a kid. It's why I learned how to spell Cincinnati when I was like 4 years old because of the song.
Deep
where they
cut,
keep spinning Cincinnati. Yeah. Oh, I knew no one was gonna have it. I knew no one was gonna have
Reeves,
it.
baby.
But it is like out or coming out. I want to say like Blu-ray or something because it was like I wonder if I can buy a copy of it, and then it was like pre-order. I was like, wow, all right, we're reissuing this. Okay.
I have it on DVD.
You do.
Pat Morita is the toy maker. Yep.
And the dude from Empty Nest is the villain.
Mr. Miyagi.
Yes.
It has so many people in it. It really does.
Trish, you've got me convinced. I want to see that now.
I mean, it's not good.
No, they're not supposed to be good.
But I watched it as a kid, and I had it on like a VHS, and would watch it with all the commercials from NBC at the time.
I feel seen, by the way, because Eowyn the Fair says, "You're so lovely, Meteora," which is from the Christmas toy. Because a space toy gets unwrapped on Christmas and thinks it's a real space person, because that happens in a Christmas toy.
Wow, they just
John
really
Lasseter
happens in Toy Story too.
Yeah,
this
it's
is
straight up stolen. It's straight up stolen.
Spencer just poking the bear.
They deboed Jim Henson's work, huh? Just took his
Have
bike.
we met Trish?
Technically, no, Spencer. Yes.
Nolan, you're number 10.
Okay. So I think I only got enough prep time to get a top 7. Can I do a pass until we get to 7?
Yes.
No.
Martin.
You want me to give you one? I'll give you one.
Nolan.
I'll give you one.
Okay. Okay. All right.
DreamWorks Home for the Holidays.
All right. DreamWorks Home for the Holidays. This is a film I've actually never seen, but according to Kevin, it is actually my 10th favorite Christmas movie, which is somehow even more random than the stuff I managed to pull out of nowhere last minute because of Sonic. So I'll just say, if Kevin would like to in a Nolan Thunder voice, he can tell the audience all about my favorite Christmas movie. Yeah.
It's a Netflix spinoff of the movie Home, where we take where I think the original movie featured Jim Parsons and Rihanna. Jim Parsons plays this adorable little alien. So when we come back to the show picks up right off where the movie left off, and now it's the holidays, and the aliens are learning Christmas traditions and holiday traditions, and it has one of my favorite musical numbers about latkes, potato latkes, because they go to a Jewish house for a Hanukkah, and it's hysterical.
Fantastic.
Love it.
Fantastic. All right, Martin Stone, you're number 10.
It is an episode of Smallville from season 5 called Lexmas.
I love Lexmas.
Yes.
You just spoke to my soul.
I think it's a great episode. It's A Wonderful Life done to Lex Luthor. I'm not going to give away the ending, but I remember watching it the night it aired and thinking to myself,
pick this one.
This show has been dragging for like a season now. This was a great episode, and this show will never be this good again.
It probably never was. Spencer, you're number 10.
Okay, so I don't have mine in any order because I'm really bad with like ranking things, because I can always like find an argument for things to be number 1. My top 3 are probably accurate, but so I'm just gonna list them. My number 10 that I'm gonna start with here is Christmas with the Joker.
Oh,
what is that? Is that from Batman the Animated Series?
That is the second episode ever of Batman the Animated Series, and the first one with Mark Hamill's Joker. But the entire plot of the episode is that on Christmas Eve, Joker breaks out of Arkham with a bunch of villains. So they have to do this sort of Christmas-themed mystery. But then, Batman and Robin, they save the day. They get Joker back in his cell. And I just remember the very end of the movie or of the episode is Alfred bringing Bruce and Dick. Oh, It's a Wonderful Life. And all 3 of them just like sit down and watch it together. And then it cuts to the Joker. Right, exactly, because Bruce has never seen it. And then it cuts to the Joker in Arkham, like doing his like crazy like ranting, but then he ends it with like jingle bells. And then he goes like, Merry Christmas. And then the episode ends.
Okay. I like that a lot.
I will reserve my thoughts and be the first one to do that.
All right, my turn for number 9. We're starting on number 9.
You talking trash, boy?
Number 9
I have it too.
was number 9 was The Night Before Christmas. It is a Rankin and Bass cartoon, and it features basically a town where a super intelligent mouse boy tells Santa to F off in a letter to the editor in a newspaper. So Santa gets mad at the entire town and refuses to go there, and they have to try to suck up to Santa and coax him back with a giant clock that's supposed to play at midnight. Nobody's ever heard of it. Nobody's ever seen it. I love it. It's been on my Christmas to-do list since I was a kid, and it's one of my ride or dies. All right, Kevin Apollo, you're number 9.
Yogi's First Christmas.
I love this one.
All the Hanna-Barbera characters get together to celebrate Christmas, and somehow Yogi and Boo Boo wind up waking up, and they celebrate Christmas for the first time.
Aww.
I think Cindy shows
up. I was laughing about this, but I genuinely think I remember this one.
This was I used to watch this. I had a VHS tape of just a bunch of Christmas. It was like the Smurfs Christmas, Pac-Man Christmas, a Coneheads animated Christmas episode. And I think I think the SNL cast did the voices. And this was and the Yogi's First Christmas was buried in there. I actually spent a giant chunk of time trying to find the VHS because I think I have it, and then just tapped out and started watching Christmas episodes on YouTube.
Evan, so you had that VHS tape. Does this mean that I'm correct in that Christmas in Pac-Land is definitely your number one?
Christmas in Pac-Land is on my list.
So
I
good.
love Christmas in Pac-Land.
So good. All right, Trish, you're number 9.
Now for Whiplash, because everyone will know this, it's The Nightmare Before Christmas. I love that movie.
Thank you.
I don't care.
Thank
I don't
you.
have some weird I hate Tim Burton thing that you've got going on or whatever. it is. So I love that movie.
I always forget
Trish,
that technically a Christmas
Respect.
Tim Burton did direct that movie.
I just can't get over the fact that it's like 10 minutes long.
It's like an hour.
It's
like an hour with credits. Yeah.
What's this? What's this? I just love The Nightmare Before Christmas.
I like some of the songs in it. I will say I do like some of the songs. I like the
I think if we can, I think if we divorce like the fandom around it and what Tim Burton's become, and you just take it as like an objective piece of art, I think it's fantastic. But like,
you know what? I could follow you on that, Spencer, because it's the fandom that surrounds it that I hate.
I was about to bring this up, Marvin, and I'm sure you know it because I know everybody here always gets my stupid one-off Family Guy references. But there's an amazing Family Guy joke where I don't remember what the setup is, but Peter mentions like, "Oh yeah, it's like the Nightmare Before." It's like it's like, "Oh, you're as happy as Jack Skellington on the night before Christmas," and it cuts to like Jack Skellington dancing around and doing a dance, and then he pops up in front of the camera and goes, "Ooh, fat girls get tattoos of me." Yep. And I'm always like, perfect, no notes.
Yep. Nolan, we know you don't have a number 9.
No, but I would like to say something about Nightmare Before Christmas before we switch. When I was young and we first saw the movie rented from the video store, I can't remember, but I think my family might have fell asleep. And I think we stopped watching the movie at the point where Jack Skellington gets shot out of the sky and he's just kind of sad. And it's like he almost dies. And I think that was my childhood exposure to the movie. So I don't think I got that resolution. Or I was really young and couldn't remember. So, I guess I still have
more memory unlocked for Nolan.
I have one that you can borrow, Nolan. I can't.
I was going to give him one.
Oh, okay.
Give him one, Martin.
MST3K's Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
Fantastic.
I wanted to do this one on the Lost Guys so bad, but we didn't have time.
So Nolan, you could actually speak to this one then.
Oh, no, I haven't even seen it. I wanted an excuse to watch it. Someone in the chat said I could take Xena Warrior Princess, a Soulside Carol. Apparently, they did a Christmas special. Kevin, do you know about this?
Yes, I do.
Really?
Yeah. Thank you, be our guest in the chat, by the way.
You don't remember that one? Yes.
No,
yes.
it's been so long since I watched Xena. By the way, I feel seen again because Ryan Damon says, "Even a miracle needs a hand," and that's one of the songs from "Twas the Nightmare Before Christmas."
I was going to be boring and give Nolan the Toy Story That Time Forgot.
I just watched that. So my wife has this like weird fascination with that little cat Christmas ornament in that, and like she thinks it's the cutest thing, and I'm like, I don't understand you. Like, this is like nothing,
but you don't.
We don't have to understand them.
I mean, she eats balut too, so.
Martin Stone, you're number 9.
It is a relatively new one. It's Netflix Christmas Chronicles.
Ooh,
I haven't
Kurt
seen
Russell.
that.
Kurt Russell plays Santa Claus, who grants the wish of a young girl who is just kind of on the cusp of no longer believing, and they go on an adventure together.
I like that. That's a good elevator pitch. I would watch that.
There's 2 of them. Very cute.
Yeah, there's a sequel. The early stuff on the sequel looked like it was going to go a little like Mrs. Claus is really the one in charge, but that's not how it ends up.
Oh, okay, good. Spencer McCooley, you are number 9.
Is Goldie Hawn.
Yes, that's true.
My number 9,
stuff like that.
My number 9 is going to be weird, and I definitely I expect a lot of pushback, but I am primarily choosing this one because 1, it's recent, 2, it's surprisingly good from who it's coming from. And 3, I'm pretty sure nobody wants to hear all of us pick like Rudolph like 400 times, right? So I actually am going to give like my number 9 slot to the Guardians Holiday Special.
I kind of had a feeling
so
you were gonna
good.
say that.
So good.
Okay, okay, good. I remembered one of us here.
I just watched it the other night, and I'm just like, my God, this is good.
Right? Hold on, Trish, what'd you say?
Don't people like that? I feel like I heard people say good things about it.
They do, but also in our sphere, you know that there are a lot of knee-jerk reactions, just like the MCU. And I do admit that, like, it is an odd little duck. Like, what a weird thing to do, a Christmas special with the Guardians, and it's weird, but it's fun. It gets all the characters right. It doesn't like overdo everything. There's not 400 cameos from everybody. It's just like, here are the Guardians, and here's what's his name?
Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon, right. And it was just,
and it's like, it's important to the plot of the third one. Like
which is like surprising.
Really?
It introduces the new ship. It introduces the fact that they now own Nowhere. It introduces the fact that Mantis is Star-Lord's sister.
No, Star-Lord, that was in 2. They revealed that in 2.
Yeah, but
as was Kurt Russell.
He doesn't find out until the Christmas special.
Oh, that's right.
Star-Lord finds out at the end of the Christmas special.
That's right. Oh, and I also think there's like a brief passing mention of like we need new uniforms or something, which sets up their like suits.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty integral.
And
I have a lot of fun with it.
The opening song, I don't know what Christmas is.
Yes.
Christmas time is here.
Yeah.
And the animated sections that bookend it with Yondu.
Right. And like that's what I was saying, Marvin, is like this is from Marvel. And this is like phase 3 Marvel. It is
Gunn.
Good. I know that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
He's the only one who can make anything out of that crap fest over there.
Yeah. All right. We're going into number 8 now. My number 8, Rugrats, the Santa Experience.
Thank you.
Ooh.
Thank you.
It's an
That's the one where Grandpa tells him about Moses leaving the desert, right?
No, it's not.
I know. I'm just messing around.
It's when Angelica does the Gift of the Magi, finds out she's going to be on Santa's naughty list for it with Phil and Lil, and hilarity ensues. Meanwhile, Tommy and Chucky are trying to capture Santa Claus. It's got such fantastic the cutting down the Christmas tree with Dee Dee being like, "Oh, it's perfect," and then Betty's like, "All right, Dee, stand back. I'm going to chop it down." She goes, "Oh no, you won't! Not this tree!" And then Betty gives her the greatest look ever. Angelica just getting clowned the whole episode is fantastic. I like that it has a happy ending for Angelica, but there's also a lump of coal in the garage. So,
Oh, and doesn't she obsess over that, right? Like she's like, "That's what I'm getting." Isn't that episode? Or
she thinks she's getting coal for Christmas.
Yeah. Okay.
Because Grandpa tells them the story of Santa Claus, so she's trying to undo the Gift of the Magi situation.
That's right. Yeah.
The one thing I'm always like, when Phil and Lil are like, "I don't know what to get Lil for Christmas," I'm like, "You're babies. You don't get each other anything." And then like when they give each other their gifts, they're wrapped, and I'm like, "Who wrapped those?"
Mom.
I don't know. Kevin Apollo, you're number 8.
The Tick Loves Santa.
My man.
I am literally, by the way, as we're going through, I'm changing some of mine to like more obscure things because I feel weird for having some of the things that I have.
No, you don't.
Hey, you're not going to out-weird me.
I've got mainliner ones on mine too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go for it, dude.
I just purposely avoided the movies because I knew we were going to cover them.
Look, Marvin, here, I'll make you feel better, Marvin. We're still early on, but as we get down the list, I will be going into my weird Japanese crap, and that's there's no way you'll be more obscure than that. So you're good.
Fantastic.
Weird Japanese
Spencer,
crap.
I'm still going to top you in obscure. That's my
you're going to top me, huh? I mean,
yeah.
All right,
yeah.
Kev, talk about the Tick.
All right, so Christmas, and the Tick is excited about Christmas, and he loves Santa Claus, but there's an evil Santa who can multiply himself. So they fight all these evil Santas, and the Tick has a heart attack because Santa's being evil. But then he finally meets nice Santa. And one of my favorite parts of the episode is when all the Santas are marching down the street, they're like, "Ho, ho, 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 ho."
Fantastic. All right, Trish, you're number 8.
Season 5, episode 11 of King of Queens, Mentalo Case, where he wants this toy named Mentalo that he never had when he was a kid. And it's just really funny. I think Carrie gets him a knockoff one. He's like, this is not the same thing. And she's just like, what's the difference? He's like, ugh. And he reminisces about when he wanted as a kid, but it's like old timey. And he's like, oh, down by the creek. And she's like, down by the creek? Like, what are you talking about? No one ever talks about that show. But I feel like it's one of the funniest sitcoms ever. And I don't know why more people don't talk about it. So
King of Queens is fantastic.
I love King of Queens. So it's on my list.
I just realized that you said King of Queens. At first, I thought you said King of the Hill.
No, King of Queens.
Like, no, King of Queens.
Right.
I love King of Queens.
Yes, I love that show.
All right,
We're
Nolan.
playing for Christmas.
All right. I do have an 8. I came up with an 8 last minute, so I do have an 8 here. So I just want to remind everyone in the audience, next time you're over at your family's house, it's a very critical time, to make some connections at a time we all might be, a bit divided. Maybe you said something during Thanksgiving, tensions are still a little high. You weren't sure if you want to go or not. I recommend the next time you see your aged grandma, you put on a nice wholesome Christmas movie called Batman
and
Returns.
rob her.
It was directed by Tim Burton. It's very much a classic. There's
Batman
a lot of
Returns.
Christmas themes in it. There's a lot of I believe one scene where Penguin has some black goop coming out of his mouth. I believe there's a woman who's thrown out of the window, Catwoman, and she kind of dies in a horrible bleak faction. There's a thing about kidnapping babies. It's a very wholesome movie, and I think it's got a lot going for it. So if you're ever in the mood this Christmas, check out this 1991 classic. It's a very good time.
I'm so happy with that, by the way.
I am too, because it's not on my list, and now I'm kicking myself for it not being on my list. Martin Stone.
I know,
number
I
8.
am too. I definitely am.
Number 8, Prep and Landing. It's a Disney Christmas special, about 30 minutes
I've
long.
heard good things. They designed Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam off of it.
Yes, exactly. And that's from the sequel. But the first Prep and Landing is about an elf who gets passed over for a promotion. And so he's no longer in the Christmas spirit. His new assistant that they've hired to go scout out kids' houses is he's not really working out for him. And he finds himself getting dangerously close to being on the naughty list himself.
Excellent. Spencer Bakuli, your number 8.
My number 8 is actually going to be the Futurama episode Xmas Story, which is the one where they first encounter the evil Santa. They figure out why he's broken. It's where Fry stays out too long, and Santa keeps going after him.
Evil robot Santa. Bender,
they trap him in ice. Bender has to go deliver the presents for him. It's just a goofy sort of, more exploration of that future world. It's really funny seeing because that's their first Christmas episode. So it's like, what do you do for Christmas in the future? We lock down and we get armed with rocket launchers and we just hang out and hope we survive. Pretty funny.
He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake.
And then it's also got one of my favorite Futurama jokes was at the end. Bender's in the air, on the sleigh delivering presents. And he's like, oh, hey, what's up, Kwanzaa-bot? And Kwanzaa-bot's like, hey, man, I'm just doing the rounds. He's like, you delivering presents? And he's like, you know it. What are you doing? And he's like, I'm handing out these books. And it zooms in on this book that's just two black kids shrugging. And it says, what the hell is Kwanzaa? And Kwanzaa-bot looks at it. He goes man, I hand these out every year. And I don't know if they make a difference.
I do love the Santa Claus is gunning you down song.
Yes. And it's from that one. Yep.
And by the way, that's exactly what I said in the 4th grade when someone said Happy Kwanzaa. I said, what the hell is Kwanzaa?
What the hell is Kwanzaa?
All right. Number 7 for me is one that I've loved since I was really, really little. Christmas Eve on Sesame Street. It classic. We open up in the ice skating rink. With Big Bird dancing to ice skating to Feliz Navidad. Oscar gets thrown through the wall in the most insane trip and fall issue ever. And then we get such amazing songs like the I Believe in Miracles, or then Bob has the Keep Christmas With You all through the year. Big Bird wants to find out how Santa Claus comes down the chimney. goes up on the roof. He has the icicles growing from his beak. It's really good. It's got some great lines like from Kermit where he's like, one kid thought that Santa Claus sneaks in with the relatives on Thanksgiving and hides in the laundry until Christmas. There's some really great ad-libbed Grover talking to kids moments as well as to how Santa Claus gets down the chimney. It's just a fantastic Sesame Street movie from back in the golden days before Elmo.
Elmo.
Back when it was Big Bird's show, damn it. And Bert, Ernie, and Mr. Hooper do the Gift of the Magi, as Ryan Damon just pointed out in the chat, which, Gift of the Magi happens so often. All right, Kevin Apollo, your number 7.
Oh, my number 7. Hold on, let me see what I want to talk about here, because I saw someone in the chat mention the X-Files Christmas episode, which featured Eisner and Lily Tomlin. 2 grumpy ghosts decide to prove how lonely the holiday season can be, and hijinks ensue. But my number 7 is A Fat Albert Christmas, which involves doing a nice retelling of the Nativity story.
I don't think any of the rest of us are allowed to pick that one.
No.
I loved Fat Albert.
I almost didn't because we talked about it last week, like really quick.
Yeah, we did.
Fantastic. I love it. All right, Trish, you're number 7.
Okay, this is where my I watch more TV than movies is going to show this list. Because this is more TV episodes. This is also kind of dark, but Kevin especially knows what this show means to me. It's 2 episodes of 6 Feet Under. One is the pilot because it takes place at Christmas. And these are dark. And then the other one is the 2nd season, episode 8, called It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year. In a mall, Santa dies. And there's this biker funeral at the funeral home. And it's like a big party. Because they're like, well, no, we're going to celebrate him. He would want us to live it up. And so instead of it always being like a somber thing like it usually is, there's this big biker party going on Christmas downstairs in the funeral home for a mall Santa. And I just love that show. So 6 Feet Under. Dark, but I love it.
I love that, Trish. Nolan Thunder, number 7.
All right, this is going to be very random. The Powerpuff Girls, I believe it was season 4. Twas the Fight Before Christmas. It's like a double-length episode.
Good pick.
Little special. Thank you, man of culture.
Well
right
done,
here.
Nolan.
Thank you. It's a fun scenario. Basically, you have what's her name? Princess Morbucks, the rich snobby girl who was a villain most time.
That's
always
her.
wanted to be
You
a
got her.
girl.
Yeah.
Thank you. She gets really upset at Santa because she's on the naughty list for obvious reasons, being a spoiled brat. So she basically hijacks her way into the North Pole, goes undercover, and basically changes the list to where she's the only nice girl in the world, and all the other kids of the world are naughty. So the Powerpuff Girls realize this. They start X-ray visioning into other houses and see that the stockings are filled with coal, which already gets some pushback from Santa Claus himself, thinking that's kind of a naughty thing to do. And they're on this epic adventure trying to fix everything before it becomes daylight again to basically save Christmas. And they have like an epic aerial fight over water as they're trying to get to the North Pole. And one of my favorite things about this, not just the disgruntled Santa Claus, because all the kids of the world become naughty and it feels like he's failed in life. But my favorite thing about the whole special is at one point, there's this thing called the permanent naughty list. And when you see it in the film, it's actually on the naughty list is the names of the people who made the special. So you got like McCracken, you got Faust, you have the staff that worked on it, and they put themselves on the naughty list. It's so clever.
Excellent. Martin Stone, number 7.
All right, you guys are going to get bored with my list from here on out because it's so vanilla, so what everybody expects.
No, we need some of that.
Because no one has anything to say about mine, so it's fine. You
Nobody has anything to say about
conversation.
Trish's. Everybody's going to tune
Thanks,
out when I get to
Spencer.
mine. We need somebody to keep the audience here.
All right, Miracle.
I'm on your side, Trish. I'm saying we're in the same boat. I'm kicking you out.
Miracle on 34th Street. It's beautiful and it's
beautiful.
heartwarming. It's exactly what a Christmas movie is supposed to be.
Now, the original, I assume you're talking about, right? The black and white version.
Yeah, not the one with the dude from was it The Practice or Boston Legal or something?
Yeah, the girl with the girl from Matilda and Mrs. Doubtfire.
William Shatner.
No,
okay, wait, but now I want to see a Miracle on 34th Street.
I know.
Yeah, Virginia.
I loved the I actually just watched the clip the other day from Miracle on 34th Street when he's talking to the Dutch girl.
Yes.
And he speaks Dutch to her. I love that. Spencer McCooley.
Wait, hold on. I would just like to chime in. It did give us Wunderslausch on South Park.
Wunderslausch. Oh, okay, Chris. I've been
as
wanting
you can
to
imagine, I love.
I've been wanting to make a reference to that for like weeks, but I don't know how much you know South Park. So I've just been like, I'll wait till there's like a period where I can have like an hour with Trish and tell her the reference.
You know, I know. You know, I know Wunderslausch.
Our parents are saying Slash isn't real.
Who was the one of our parents?
Yeah, who played at my 6th birthday party? One of our parents. Well, who was at the mall? One of our parents. Or who recorded Appetite for Destruction? One of our parents.
All right, Spencer, number 7.
Okay, so mine, I forget which specific season and episode it's in, even though I was just looking at it a little while ago. But there is a Christmas episode of the show King of the Hill that I particularly love, where during the holiday season, Bill, the neighbor who's, divorced and kind of a sad sack, every Christmas he starts getting really depressed because he doesn't have a family. He has nobody to hang out with. And so one year he sort of breaks and he starts wearing his ex-wife's dresses and like pretending he's hurt. Like it's a very mental break and everybody's like, this is not good. But Hank has to, who is like the, straight-laced, average conservative guy. He's like, I love my friend, but we also need to get him in control because I'm hosting the big holiday party and all of our clients and all of my bosses, they're all going to be there. I can't have him coming over cross-dressing. And so, that's the whole episode plays out. And then as we get to the end, the Christmas party is happening and Bill shows up and he is in his dress and he is acting weird and everybody is very uncomfortable. But instead of, abandoning his friend or throwing him out or trying to, play it off, Hank goes into his bedroom, grabs one of his wife's dresses, puts it on and comes out and he's like, yep, that kind of party. Woo! So it's a very, very touching story about friendship and loving each other will supersede even the harshest critic times or whatever. It's just a great episode and I love it.
All right, my turn for number 6. Good pull, Spencer. Number 6 is it's very obscure. It's Christmas at Eureka's Castle.
Eureka's Castle.
Yep.
The Eureka's Castle Christmas special as a kid was one of my all-time favorites. It's got great music. It's got a fun story. Batley is putting on a play, and Magellan, tries to decorate his tail as a Christmas tree because Eureka's magic can't create a Christmas tree for whatever reason. She keeps making a cup of tea instead of a Christmas tree. And Batley kicks Magellan out of the show, and Magellan leaves to go find a Christmas tree, and they have to go find him in the woods. And it is so, so, so good.
Does anyone remember the little hand puppets from Pizza Hut?
I was about to bring that up. We had those.
I had them. I had all 3. There were 3 of them. I had all 3 of them. I also love the Moat Twins. The Moat Twins have an amazing song about their Christmas lists. All right, Kevin Apollo, number 6.
So this was tough for me because I couldn't choose. I wanted to pick one of the 7 Married with Children Christmas episodes because they're all spectacular, and I could not make a choice. So
I'll allow you to lump them together if you want.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Married with Children Christmas
well,
specials.
It's almost 11 o'clock. I don't want to give a breakdown of all 7 episodes. Although my favorite one being, it opens up in a bar, and Al is telling all of his friends how he has avoided getting everybody Christmas presents because as he gets closer to Christmas, he turns them all against each other. And when he gets home, everybody presents him with their list, and he realizes it's not going to work this year. So he has to get a job as a mall Santa, which then invites Marcy to mock him the entire time. And then hijinks ensue.
It's wonderful. That's wonderful. I love those.
Only fat woman jokes. But I will instead choose because I want to go a little traditional with this. The Laurel and Hardy March of the Wooden Soldiers.
Oh, fantastic. That is very traditional. Oh, my goodness. All right, Trish, you're number 6.
two-part
Start moving
episode.
through these faster.
Two-part episode of Saved by the Bell, where there's a homeless girl at the mall, and Zach falls for her, and then she gets accused of stealing a sports coat, and she gets fired, and of course they have to get her job back, but like the dad is homeless, and so the Morris family takes her in, and then you never saw them again.
You never see them again.
Never saw them again.
Kicked out the next week.
Just never, and it like ends with Zach and the girl having like, this is like a moment because he has a crush on her and everything. You never saw her again.
Mm-hmm. What are you doing, step bro?
All right, Nolan Thunder.
So my number 6 is actually the same as one of Spencer's. It's actually Christmas with the Joker from Batman the Animated Series. I will say that it was, Batman the Animated Series came out at a very interesting time, where we were getting more used, the mainstream, I should say, because the comics were already doing this, getting more used to, the darker, edgy Batman. And there was a lot of things, left over, from the Silver Age, the Adam West show. We're like, hey, how can we bring some of those elements, into a TV show now, like some of the more campier side of things? And I think only being the second episode of the series proved that you can have Robin, you can have zany storylines, you can have Batman fighting little trinket Christmas toys with a bat and Robin calling him Batman because and Joker singing the traditional Batman Jingle Bells song and blast off in the Christmas tree. You can have silly storylines, but still take yourself seriously enough to where there's tension, and it's just a fun short watch that I think can really bring a lot of fun to Christmas and show that you don't always have to take things too seriously.
All right, I do have to point out before we go to Martin, It's a Bundyful Life with Sam Kinison as the guardian angel.
Yes.
Fantastic episode of TV. All right, Martin, your number 6.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
The original or the Jim Carrey version?
No, the original.
Good answer.
Yeah.
So
the original is great. It gave us a lot of great songs.
You beat me. I love it. I love it so much. And the song is just such an important part of Christmas. All right, Spencer Bakuli, number 6.
All right, here's where it's gonna start getting very, very weird, everybody. I gotta look up the episode name really quick. So, as you all may know, there is a show called Power Rangers, but that is based on a Japanese show called Super Sentai. That has it does the same thing where every year you get a new team, a new set of heroes, so on and so forth. In the what is this, like the 7th series from like the 90s, there's an episode called The Hasty Santa, where the Rangers in that team end up saving a small child from a monster, and that monster claims to be the son of Santa. I am little Santa, and I am out because I am trying to learn how to be Santa and take his spot. So the Rangers go, well, we can't just leave him out here. Let's go help him get back to the North Pole and defeat the monster that has apparently invaded the North Pole. So they go to the North Pole, and it's not just the North Pole. It's called Santa Land, and everybody there is a Santa. So about a good 10 minutes of this episode is a slapstick type thing where the 5 Rangers with this little kid are trying to dodge all these guards that are dressed as Santa. And then at the very end, they fight Santa because he's become possessed by a monster, but they beat him, and they all get their Christmas deliveries done, and it's just fantastic fun.
Spencer, I have a question for you.
Like you said, when you mentioned Power Rangers, I legitimately thought you were about to go with "I'm Dreaming of a White Ranger."
Nope.
Or Alpha's Magical Christmas. But go ahead, Nolan. We got to be quick though.
Oh yeah, no. I just wanted to ask. You said the kid wanted to carry on Santa Claus. Are you sure you liked it though? I hear the mantle strategy usually doesn't work for these sort of things.
You know what? But this was his son. It wasn't just the black kid from Brooklyn who he decided was going to be Santa. So I was okay with it.
Okay, that works. That's cool.
Santa, New World Order.
Santa Morales.
All right. So number 5 for me. Number 5 for me is, this is a pretty middle of the road one, is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
I can't believe I forgot that one.
I just watched it the other night. Cousin Eddie, and just everything. If I woke up with my head sewed to the carpet tomorrow, I couldn't be more surprised.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Go after yourself. Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah. Kiss my ass. Kiss his ass.
I forgot. Yeah, kiss my ass. Kiss his ass. Happy Hanukkah.
It's so good. It's so good. It's Chevy Chase at his best. I will laugh every single time he opens the attic door and the stairs hit him in the face.
I will always laugh at when the couple is like, when the icicle like goes through their window and I forget what it breaks, like their piano or whatever, and they're like arguing.
It breaks their stereo.
The stereo, and they're like, well, somebody had to do it.
Why is the carpet
wet?
That's right. Yeah.
I don't know, Marco.
It's because of that movie. I can't hear Hawaiian Christmas without thinking of naked ladies. Continue.
Or
that's just my normal mindset anyway. You can play any song, and I'm like that.
Or Cousin Eddie in a Speedo.
All right,
number 5.
Chickadee China.
Show's got the boom anime babes that make me feel wrong.
Number 5.
Well, I'll skip this one because I see it in one of the super chats. So I will instead go with a Christmas.
Which one? I'll bring up the super chat.
The Flintstones Christmas special.
Yep, Chef Eddie for $2. The Flintstones Christmas. What is it about? Are you talking about how the Flintstones saved Christmas?
Yes.
How?
I love it so much. I
also count the Fruity Pebbles commercial as a sequel to it.
Here comes you know who yabba dabba.
Oh, extended universe.
Oh my God, you're ruining one of mine. Shut up.
Hungry Santa.
They just.
Tis the season to be sharing, Fred.
Stomp all over it, guys. It's fine. Stomp all over my number 3. Let's go for it. Martin's the only one that notices.
Your number 3 is a commercial?
It's commercials, which you told me I could do.
Okay.
And I was going to highlight that one.
All right, Kev. So your number 5 was technically how the Flintstones saved Christmas, but what were you going to change it to?
I was going to say a Christmas wish. A Christmas wish.
Christmas wish.
It was an NBC special featuring Mr. T and Emmanuel Lewis, who at the time I thought were being Webster. And the plot is Emmanuel Lewis they're both orphans. So Mr. T has no family, and it just opens up with Mr. T is dressed as Santa, ho ho hoing, and Emmanuel Lewis walks up and goes, "Hey, does this job pay well?" And he goes, "What kind of kid asked that question?" And then hijinks ensue, and there's a musical number.
How is there not a Hulk-style show with Emmanuel Lewis and Mr. T?
Mr. T was too busy doing the A-Team.
Yeah.
And after the A-Team ended, I found that he did a show called TNT where he plays a lawyer's assistant. Thanks to Tubi. It was a Canadian TV show for years.
Wait, that's
Trish,
real? Oh my
5.
God.
This is where everyone's going to understand why sometimes I'm quiet, because these are the things I love. Mine is an episode of Veronica Mars from season 1 called An Eccles Family Christmas. There's 2 cases in it. One involves the teens and a poker game they're all playing, and the pot goes missing. And then the other one is that Aaron Eccles, which is Logan's dad, played by Harry Hamlin, has been getting stalked. And notes have been being sent to the house, and his wife, Lisa Rinna, is worried about it, so she hires Veronica's dad to look into it, and I won't spoil it, but it's someone at the party, and it goes down. So
excellent.
There you go. Mine's quick. Mine.
Nolan Thunder,
All right.
number 5.
One that people tend to take for granted and just kind of overlook, but a lot of people have seen it. Christmas Who from SpongeBob SquarePants. Just to this day, is still one of my favorite Christmas specials ever. For those who don't know, basically, they introduced the concept of Christmas to Bikini Bottom, and all the townsfolk are like, yeah, let's get on that. This fat dude's going to bring us free stuff. Let's do it. So they have like a contraption that literally shoots a bottle out upward in order to get sent to Santa. But the bottles with their letters literally just end up at the top of the ocean, just start floating. And then the letters never get to Santa. So they go, and soon it's realized that Santa didn't show up, and SpongeBob is devastated. So Squidward, of all characters, goes and starts trying to appease the people of Bikini Bottom by giving them stuff from his home, to the point where he literally raids his own home in the name of Christmas. It literally, the last guy, it cuts to him taking his couch, and it's like, "Thank you, Santa." He puts on this facade just for doing the right thing. It is such a sweet one, and the song in it is top tier Christmas, even as wild it is.
Trish, what was the name of that Veronica Mars episode? Because I'm writing it down because I want to look into it.
An Eccles Family Christmas. That show is better if you've never watched it. Just watching the season in order because there's like overarching storyline.
I've never watched it, but I do like.
If you're into it, I wouldn't leap. If you ever plan on, I wouldn't leap ahead. So
yeah, she's right. It's a good show.
Martin Stone, you're number 5.
All right, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, but Die Hard in the Suburbs is called Home Alone, and it's my number 5.
I knew someone would put that.
You know, it was on my list, and I took it off because I figured somebody else would have it. Yes. Now, Kevin, let me ask you a question about this. When you were growing up as a boy named Kevin in the 90s, was it annoying that people would scream Kevin at you every Christmas?
No, because oddly enough, like when we had the little license plate with your names on it, there was never a Kevin back then. So anytime anybody said anything Kevin, it was always a delight. So I welcomed this.
Okay. Martin Stone, Home Alone. It's amazing how many times it would have led to death.
Oh yeah. And are we talking about just the things that happened to
Dude, Kevin
burglars,
McAllister is a one-man Viet Cong.
Yeah. Well, Home Alone may be the prequel to the Saw series.
But, yeah.
Never gonna watch this the same way again.
It's so elaborate.
Oh
man, especially like Home Alone 2 is a bloodbath. Like as bad as Home Alone 1 gets, Home Alone 2 is a complete bloodbath.
Gotta get worse for the sequel.
Spencer McCooley, number 5.
All right, number 5, and I'll keep it brief because I know we got to run through them. And if I really dove into this, it would take forever. Another Japanese show. Actually, now Kamen Rider. So the basic premise of a Kamen Rider is they are a guy who uses a belt or a machine to transform into like a robot hero. In one of the latest series that was out in like 2020, I believe, it was video game themed. So, you would take your belt, you would transform into like a video game hero. Maybe it's a rhythm game hero or an action game hero. But there is one episode where a child is having a bad day because he doesn't know if he's going to get anything for Christmas. And, his whole life is kind of shaken up between his parents and stuff. And so that negative energy draws in a bunch of evil video game enemies into the real world. So the Kamen Rider and his team, they start using basically Christmas themed forms. That's the entire thing. So like a Santa Kamen Rider, and then they sing like jingle bells to beat the enemy. And it's just really over the top in Christmas, but that's why I love it.
They had a very good a Christmas episode of Masked Rider in the States.
I almost considered putting Furbius's First Christmas on this list. I'm not even gonna lie.
All right, number 4. Now, my number 4, this is going to be really obscure because it's YouTube content. It is the Team 4-Star Dragon Ball Z abridged Christmas specials.
Oh, good. Nick,
I feel like Trish now. You beat me to a YouTube video.
Yep. Christmas Tree of Might is really good, but the plan to eradicate Christmas is fantastic. Oh my God, he's getting pummeled, or God rest ye, merry gentlemen.
That's the one I was going to do. That rest ye.
When they turned the plan to eradicate the Saiyans into the plan to eradicate Christmas, it's genius. And I also rewatch every DBcember every December. So I love the Team 4-Star guys. They revolutionized the game as far as comedy parody content goes. They are the GOATs, and my goodness, do they do Christmas amazingly. Kevin Apollo, number 4.
Number 4. Hold on, I closed my thing. I got wrapped up in reading the chat discussing Angel season 4.
David Boreanaz.
I'm going to go with. Let's see. I put down way too much stuff. Here the OG Simpsons Christmas special.
Oh man, Santa's Little Helper. Oh my God. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good pull.
That is a really good pull, man.
I love the idea of starting a show with a Christmas special. I think that's wonderful.
Right?
Trish, number 4.
Every single Christmas episode of that 70s show, no matter how hard Danny Masterson and possibly Ashton Kutcher try to ruin that show for me, they will not. I love it.
Danny's back in the news. Did you see that?
Yeah. No.
He's trying to fight it all. It's irrelevant.
Of course he is. Of course
I know.
But I will highlight the one, which I believe is from season 1, is when Red gives Eric $40 to go buy a Christmas tree, and instead he, Hyde, and Kelso cut a tree down from the side of the road and decide to use the money for beer. And Red has to work on Christmas Eve because he's working at Bob's shop and someone has to. So I'll just highlight that one. But I love all of them. I'll watch any of them.
That's such a late one too, with him working at the shop.
So good.
No, that's that's season 1.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, no, I had it reversed. My bad.
Oh, I know what you're thinking of.
Yeah, no, not you. Yeah, we're on the same page now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic, Trish. All right, Nolan, you're number 4.
I'm still upset that you beat me to using a YouTube video. I'll keep this summary brief, but I was going deep, like no one on this panel is going to ever heard this, or anyone in the chat. It is the Stupid Mario Brothers Christmas, which was a popular online parody show.
Holy shit, Nolan.
You do not know what that is, Spencer. You do not know what that. Do you know what that is?
No, I just react because I like it a lot. Of course,
I had to go deeper than Spencer here.
No, he's saying he does know. He does know what it is.
He's like a little jerk, I swear.
Oh my god.
So
yeah, it was done by the Rich Alvarez channels. If I ever met that man in person, I would hug the dude because that man was like that dude inspired me a lot. They basically did a bunch of Mario costumes, did sets, film things, and they made a funny, wholesome little story for that era of time. And basically, I won't go too deep in the plot because I know we're showing things, but basically the Mario Brothers are upset because they didn't get their Christmas gifts, and they start turning on each other because they're really freaking mad they didn't get their gifts. So it's up to the UPS man to go to Canada because they accidentally sent their gifts to Canada and get those gifts back. And he is on a mission to take them away from a stereotypical Canadian. It is hilarious.
Did you watch? Like, I think it was like a year ago. They did like a commentary thing, like a behind the scenes thing. I haven't watched it. I was just wondering if you had.
Those guys are legends. I've seen some of their commentaries, but I need to catch up a bit on some of their recent stuff. They are legends in YouTube.
All right, Martin Stone, you're number 4.
Mine is the classic Rankin Bass Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
We knew it was going to be in here somewhere.
It had to be.
I love how like the music is still it's so old that the music is even decaying.
Yes.
Who doesn't love Yukon Cornelius?
I was gonna say Silver and Gold.
I love Yukon.
Great song.
Silver and Gold is fantastic.
Yukon gave me my first representation on screen. Another man with a red beard.
And a love for firing pistols.
Well, I can't say that on YouTube.
I was terrified of the Bumble when I was a kid.
No, me too.
All right, Spencer, you're number 4.
Okay, I clearly miscounted, or I'm behind and I missed something because I am already on my number 3. But we're just gonna roll with it because whatever. That's what we do here. And I promise this is the last one from the original Kamen Rider series, their first ever Christmas episode. It basically involves Kamen Rider. He is working at an orphanage in his secret identity, and all the kids there say, "We want to meet Kamen Rider for Christmas." And he goes, "Okay, well, I think I know a guy. We can make that happen." But then a little girl, one of the girls in the orphanage, gets really sick, and he goes to check on her, and she says, "I want a new," or like, "My doll got stolen by a wolf man last night." And he goes, "That's odd, but hey, just ask Santa for a new one." And she goes, "But I don't want a new one. I want that one. And if it's not back to me, like that wolf man's going to come after me." So it leads into him going after the Wolfman, and it leads into this bigger plot for the series. It's actually an episode with a major confrontation and a major plot development. But after he beats the Wolfman, he gets the doll back and goes to the orphanage. And it's sort of your like typical superhero Christmas sort of scene. Like he shows up, gives everybody the present, and then the kid's like, "Wait, I want to thank him." And then he turns around and he's gone, and you just hear like the motorcycle revving in the distance. Just pure simple Christmas with a Wolfman.
Oh boy, I love it. That sounds awesome, Spencer.
And that's the end of it, guys. I promise. The other 2 are going to be normal.
All right, my number 3 is more mainstream. It is Rankin and Bass, and it is The Year Without a Santa Claus.
Ooh, I like
classic,
that one.
Classic. Mickey Rooney as Santa Claus is fantastic. Shirley Booth as Mrs. Claus. I like that they flirt with the idea of Mrs. Claus becoming Santa, and she sings the whole song about it, and then at the end she's like, never mind. And we go on this entirely unnecessary adventure to the Miser Brothers, all just so that they could sing their songs. We go to Mother Nature. It's so classic. The Miser Brothers songs are fantastic. And there is something very similar coming your way on Tooney Town Wrestling this Christmas season. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I just have to finish it. My God, it's a lot of work. And by the way, I also believe that Santa Claus is Coming to Town and A Year Without a Santa Claus are in canon with each other because Mickey Rooney plays Santa in both of them. So I see them as one big movie.
That counts.
Santa Claus is Coming to Town is a good movie. That's underrated.
Yeah. I love Santa Claus is Coming to Town because they really put thought into like the why of everything. And it's a good origin story. All right, Kevin Apollo, number 3.
Number 3. Oh, we're only on 3. Let's see. Yeah, I have to go off list actually. So I'm going to take
special number 1.
I'm going to take all Teen Titans Go Christmas episodes.
So
good.
I'm behind it. Yeah.
Because it's my favorite one being Second Christmas, where they realize Starfire, they trick Starfire into not going home to her alien planet because they want to have another Christmas. So they invent a second Santa Claus. And then she realizes that she's being lied to. And then she puts them all in a coma and they wake up in time for actual Christmas. And then it leads off to they realize they don't get Christmas presents from Santa because he has dubbed them all rotten children. And it's a multi-episode feud with Santa that culminates in the Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go movie. And Asner plays a wonderful Santa. You terrible children.
That's amazing.
Such a good pick. I'm glad that more people are okay with saying they like Teen Titans Go now because it's got some stuff to offer.
Yeah.
All right, Trish, your
this one will
number
be quick
3.
because it was stomped on earlier, but it's just Christmas commercials in general. I was going to highlight the Fruity Pebbles one because it's a classic, so I will only highlight the one with the Hershey's Kisses, shaped like a tree, playing the little bells, and they've played that every year since I can remember being alive. But just stuff like that. I don't know why commercials give me the warm fuzzies, but they do, and there you have it.
What, no mention
How
of
about the M&M's one?
Oh, I wanted to bring that up.
I was going to bring that up.
Commercial, except the Folgers commercial. That was giving me the warm fuzzies.
I literally thought about that right after Marvin said, like, you have one more. And I was like, oh, I know what I'll put in there.
You missed the other night,
I was going to say something, too.
Did you guys see the YouTube video where they make fun of the Folgers commercial and its creepy nature?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I mean, all you got to do is take the music off of it. And
we were recording the Lost Guys the other night. We had a good 20-minute discussion, maybe a half hour about that dang commercial.
What about the M&M's one? He does exist. They do.
That's what I was going to bring that
by
one
the
up
tree.
Next. Yep.
Yeah,
I was going to bring. I don't know why this was me doing M&M's, but yeah, I was almost going to say that one too. So
it was
those
a
are
7-Up one. There was a 7-Up one that I used to love as a kid too, where the little 7-Up dot gets stuck in the Christmas tree at the end.
Oh, the one where LeBron James drinks a cranberry Sprite?
Yes, I think it might be. Nolan Thunder, your number 3.
Just to say, let's not.
I want to make sure we have plenty of time for some of the other more obscure stuff here, so I'm just going to say this brief. Christmas Story. It's a routine watch in my family. I love the amount of how quotable it is. My family quotes that movie like mad to this day. It's full of so much profanity and awful things, but also so many wholesome things. It's really a perfect Christmas movie, in my opinion. Everything just looks so authentic, and it's supposed to take place in Indiana, so woo.
Awesome. I do love it. I didn't watch it until later in life, but really? now it's required viewing, yeah. Martin Stone, you're number 3.
A Charlie Brown Christmas.
Yes.
Just watched it the other night. Classic. Look, they're always all terrible to Charlie Brown, but they're really terrible to him at Christmas.
Yeah, they are. I have a quick story here. A couple days after I watched the Charlie Brown Christmas, some Jehovah's Witnesses were coming through the neighborhood, and they came to the door, and one of them like was referencing, what the angels say as they're going up and down the ladder, and they're fumbling with their Bible. They can't open it. And I'm a religious guy. I'd also just seen the Charlie Brown Christmas, and I just quoted the section to them and like, oh, we didn't need to be here today, did we?
Oh, I love it. All right, Spencer McCooley, you're number 3, or do you not have a number 3?
My number 3 is the incest Folgers commercial. Next.
Okay.
I don't have a number 3, so that's perfect. We'll throw it right in there.
All right,
we'll close it out.
My number 2, probably the most controversial pick on this list. Well, guys, it's the time that comes but once a year. It's a woodland critter Christmas on South Park.
Oh, perfect.
It's so funny. And yeah, where we get the woodland critters and it's all in verse, and it's Stan with the woodland critters, and the critters end up being Satan worshipers, and they give birth to the Antichrist and the lions. Oh my God.
You got to get Kyle to have an abortion.
The single greatest moment is when you realize halfway through that it's Cartman telling the story. And then Kyle dies of AIDS at the end.
Because Kyle interrupts him halfway through, and then you get like that break, and he's like, Mr. Garrison, please, I am telling my story.
I'm sorry, Kyle. I don't seem to remember anyone anyone interrupting you when you told your holiday story. Oh my goodness. All right, Kevin Apollo, you're number 2.
My number 2, an Alf Christmas special.
Oh, awesome. Never let Mexican Iron Man hear you say that, but yes, that's awesome.
This goes hard. Family goes on a vacation to a...
Alf goes hard. First time that sentence has ever been uttered in the entirety of history.
Bro, this should have been an episode of Grey's Anatomy, not Alf. They go to a cabin in the woods. There's no power. Hijinks ensue. Willie kicks Alf out. Somehow Alf winds up in the truck of a man who plays Santa, who plays the Santa. Alf gets gifted to a girl who's dying of a terminal disease. So Alf learns a life lesson, spends time with her because no one wants to spend time with her. They even give him a single man tear, Jensen Ackles style. Then as the plot progresses, we find out that Santa has Santa gives something to one of the doctors and tells him not to open it until after Christmas. Then Alf gets stuck in an elevator and delivers a baby. Alf apparently does not know boy and girl parts, so gets told that the baby is a girl, and then can't think of a name. So he tells the mom to name the baby after the dying girl that he just met, whose name is Tiffany. Then Alf escapes the elevator, gets back into the Santa's truck. We stop and talk to the doctor who was given the check. He opens it up, says, "Hey, this is your life savings. People don't donate this. You should come see me. Losing family members is hard." Then we cut to the gentleman who is dressed as Santa, ready to self-delete by throwing himself off a bridge. Alf jumps out in a Santa costume and says, "Don't do it." Convinces the guy that he is St. Nicholas, and then gets him to drive him back home. Tells him he has nothing but a life to live for because he was the living embodiment of Santa, because he spends his time collecting gifts for people, making them feel good, and embodying the Christmas spirit. And then Alf finally gets home, comes down the Christmas tree, hijinks ensue, everybody hugs. It's extremely emotional. It's wonderful.
Whoa!
It's a really
that goes real hard.
Yeah.
It goes hard.
That was Alf and not like Family Matters? What the hell?
Yeah, that was Alf. Yes, Alf talks to a dying girl, delivers a baby, saves a life.
It's just, I love this
Merry Christmas is had by all. All right, Trish, you're number 2.
This will surprise nobody. This is not only one of my favorite Christmas things, it is one of my favorite episodes of the show. It is a very supernatural Christmas. I love this episode of the show. It has everything. They fight pagan gods, pretending that they are friendly, old, Christmas-loving neighbors. And it's quotable. It's funny. I love the people they got to play the villains. And it's also very emotional because there is a reason I will not state that it is a particularly emotional Christmas for them. And it almost makes me cry a little bit at the end. Sweet Peter on a popsicle stick. I almost forgot the tooth. There's so much that I quote from this episode. People sleep on it. It's so good. I love it. There you go. And there's just silence.
Fantastic.
Everyone's done.
No,
cool.
Oh my God. I love it, Trish. I love it. And I would expect nothing less for you, number 2. Nolan Thunder, number 2.
Yes, the Chowder Christmas special. It is one of the funniest cartoon episodes I've ever seen in my life. Last year, I used to work third shift at a job, and I was in the break room, and the breaks were kind of long at that job. And I was cracking up as a grown adult man at the Chowder Christmas special, watching it in my phone. They celebrate not Christmas, but Kanishmas. And it's all about how Chowder wants to get a certain, food making item for Christmas. It's like a utensil or something. And you have one of the characters, Gazpacho, dressed up as Santa. And they have to build a good gingerbread house, gingerbread house, in order for the Santa stand-in to show up. Problem is, Mung doesn't know how to make it, and they have to work in order to get him to show up. And the Santa in this kind of looks like the human centipede. It's really weird, but it is an A+ Christmas special. If all y'all never seen it, I highly recommend it. It is grade A comedy.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Martin Stone, number 2.
The best adaptation of its original work, Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yes. 100%.
Michael Caine didn't have to go as hard into the paint as Ebenezer Scrooge when he's playing with a bunch of puppets, but he played it dead serious, and it makes it perfect.
Yep, plays it like he's playing Shakespeare, and it's so good. And the best moment for me, I mean, I like the songs in it so much, but I really like Michael Caine's performance in when you watch the original theatrical version when they sing "When Love Is Gone." And he's singing it behind. He's watching her, and then he starts singing with her behind her, and his voice just breaks. It's so heartbreaking. And then in It Feels Like Christmas, you watch him slowly get it.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's still angry Scrooge in the beginning of it, and throughout the course of the song, you watch it slowly dawn on him, where he's like, "Oh my gosh, I get this now. I understand why everyone likes this." And
it's one of the few adaptations. Oh, go ahead, Marvin.
I was just gonna say, it's so slow and so gradual throughout the song that by the end, when he's dancing with the Ghost of Christmas Present, it's just such a great moment.
Mm-hmm. It's
Also,
one of the few
Mises got good
adaptations
cheeses.
that really get how Scrooge is a damaged person. It's not just that he's innately evil. It's that he's hurt from his life.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Good poll, Martin. Good poll. Spencer, number 2. Spencer.
I had a feeling he disappeared. No one talked about my Chowder.
Nope. I'm muted. I'm stupid. Anyway, my second choice, still a little obscure, but a little more mainstream, a little more, what do you call it? You can get into it more. It's very accessible. There is a movie from 2003. It is an anime movie called Tokyo Godfathers. And basically, the plot of this movie is that 3 homeless people in Japan.
Heard of this?
Okay, so it's good, Nolan. So there are 3 homeless people in Japan. I know, like, one of them I think is like an alcoholic. One of them is a transgender, like, man to woman, but it's not about that. So, like, if you're worried that it's woke, it's not. But if you don't like that stuff in your media anyway, I get it. But regardless. Yeah, but regardless, so it's 3 homeless people they find, and then a teenage runaway who they live in like a homeless encampment, and on Christmas Eve they find an abandoned baby just in a trash can, and so they spend Christmas Eve trying to care for the child, get it support, and it leads them into this like crazy, almost like the best comparison is like The Hangover in the twists it take, but not in the like overtly wacky ridiculousness, but just this very expansive adventure through Tokyo that brings them into the Yakuza sphere and into, gambling spheres and just all of this stuff as they try to take care of this child. And it's just a really, really heartwarming Christmas movie.
I love it. Love it. All right, my number 1. We're in the number 1s now, guys. We're wrapping it up. My number 1 is, I'm cheating here. It's the Muppets Christmas specials. So it includes Muppet Christmas Carol, which Martin just talked about, so I won't go too far into it. It's a very Merry Muppet Christmas movie, which was an NBC TV Christmas special where they do It's a Wonderful Life, where Kermit finds out what it would be like if he was never born, because Miss Bitterman is, weirdly enough, Miss Bitterman is essentially doing what Josh D'Amaro and Bob Iger are currently doing to the Muppets and bulldozing the Muppet Theater, and they have to try and stop her. Only, there's going to be no Christmas adventure to make it happen this time. It's really, really good. It's got some great throwbacks. It's got some good songs. Everyone matters. Everyone matters. It's got a Scrubs cameo, which I love. The whole cast of Scrubs is in it. Gosh, yeah, it's just a really, really good one. And David Arquette plays the guardian angel. And of course, the GOAT, which if I gun to my head would be my number one, A Muppet Family Christmas, the greatest Christmas special ever made. They all go to Fozzie's mom's house for the holidays, where Doc and Sprocket currently are, and we get the most the people like to say the Avengers was the most ambitious crossover ever done. No, it's a Muppet Family Christmas when we crossed over the Muppets, the Fraggles, and Sesame Street in the same special. And at the end,
if only they got Labyrinth in there.
It all ends. It all closes with a Jim Henson cameo with him in the kitchen watching them all sing together, and this was 2 years before he died. So yeah, it's part of my it's the first Christmas special I watch every single year is Muppet Family Christmas. All right, Kevin Apollo, watch out for the icy badge. Kevin Apollo.
All right, so I got some honorable mentions. Grumpy Old Men, Four Christmases,
Oh yeah,
The Proposal, Chipmunk's Christmas, and and Christmas in Pac-Land. However, my number one is the He-Man She-Ra Christmas special.
Oh
yes.
2 kids from Earth crash land on Eternia, and because He-Man's mom is from Earth, she understands the importance of Christmas and Santa. We found out that Adam has no idea who Santa is, but Orko does. Somehow the kids get separated, and they wind up in the care of Skeletor, and they make him adopt this pet. And as they're marching on their little adventure, Skeletor's heart starts to warm, and he gives you such great lines as, "I don't want to be good. I want to be evil." And that's just, it's fun. I love Skeletor because Skeletor isn't a bad guy. He's just a troll with nothing to do.
Yes.
I love that part where they're trying to tell Scareglow about Christmas, but they cut it before it starts getting into religious stuff. It's like, not in this special. We're changing the scene.
What a great poll. All right, Trish, you're number one.
Anyone who knows me knows my answer to this. It is Just Friends with Anna Faris, Amy Smart, and Ryan Reynolds. I watch this every year. It is hysterical.
I've seen it.
Oh my God. It's so good. I quote it. I used to go to a hairdresser named Darla, and every time I would drive up, I'd go, Darla, just like Amy Faris in it, or Anna Faris in it. Ryan Reynolds at the beginning, he's in high school, he's chubby with braces or a retainer or whatever, and he's best friends with Amy Smart, the popular cheerleader. He tries to confess to her in their yearbook, and it gets read aloud to the entire party after they graduate.
Oh.
And he goes away and like swears he's going to make something of himself, which he does. He turns into Ryan Reynolds as we know him, and he's a very powerful and rich music executive. And Anna Faris plays like a Britney Spears type. And they basically have to like emergency land in New Jersey, where he was originally from. And he's back home in his town. And he's wondering about Amy Smart, Jamie Palomino. And it's a whole thing where he's like, he still has feelings for her and he tries to impress her. And it's hysterical. If you haven't seen it and you like Ryan Reynolds, you like Anna Faris, see it. It's very, very funny.
Sounds great. I'm going to have to check that out.
It's good.
All right, Nolan, you're number one.
All right, my favorite is actually a movie. I think it is, by a long shot, the best Christmas movie ever made. And it's one that unfortunately, a lot of people actually saw, which is a movie called Fred Claus. It came out in 2007.
Oh, yeah.
Did not see that coming.
Yeah.
No,
it
me
starred
neither.
Vince Vaughn. Saw it in the theater actually when it came out. If you have ever grown up with a brother or a sibling, especially if it's a brother, you are going to connect with this movie because it is one of the most beautifully written Christmas films ever made. It has to do with basically a guy who grew up, with a normal life, and his brother is Santa Claus. So he's basically been outshined his whole life. His mother had clear favoritism towards him, and he finds himself thrust into a situation where he needs to start reconnecting with his brother again. And what's going to happen is throughout the movie, you're going to see a lot of like the struggles that you would deal with, you know, when someone you know or close with hits it big, how you can reconnect the family after a lot of rough times. Like his childhood isn't always perfect. And it honestly captures the pure essence of Christmas and the concept of it spins the whole naughty nice concept of Santa Claus list on its head and really brings the morality of kind of like what I was alluding with actually my Sonic review earlier about like are the people we deem as bad really that bad of people, and how does judging them by it affect the choices they'll make later in life. It is a very brilliant movie, and if there was ever a Christmas special I'd recommend, it is that one. You will learn something by the end of that movie, and it is honestly hilarious.
Fantastic. Martin Stone, number 1.
A Christmas Story, as already outlined by Nolan Thunder.
I love it. Nice and classic, to the point.
It's already outlined.
Spencer, what
all right,
take us back to Japan for whatever you've got for your number 1.
Yo. No, so actually, my number 1, and I had this before it was even brought up, Grinch, the original Grinch Who Stole Christmas. Just the animation of it all, excellent. The pure grumpiness of the Grinch, just everything about it, I think really works. But to make it not boring, I will also give one final honorable mention to the episode of Spectacular Spider-Man called Reinforcement. Yes, which is where it's basically a Christmas themed episode. Everything's happening around Manhattan. Basically, aside from the superhero wing, you get good developments on Peter's relationship with Gwen and MJ and all of that. But more than anything, it's the fact that the episode ends with Peter he comes home and he gives Aunt May a gift, and it's a photo of Uncle Ben, and it's there and his explanation is like, this is our first Christmas without him, but of course he's always here. And it's just this like amazing, like sad little like, oh, twit.
Good excellent. I saw somebody in the chat mention Very Brady Christmas, which is another fantastic one. That's a Brady Bunch
where they go to Hawaii.
No, that's not the one where they go to Hawaii.
No, I know it's not. I like joking that every Brady special is them going to Hawaii because that's the only one anybody remembers.
Yes. So that's it, guys. Our top 10 Christmas specials. Let's get to some super chats, and then we're ready to get done with this super long episode. Let's see.
Hey, little side note trivia while you're on super chats. Stan Lee had always intended for Peter Parker to be Jewish, and the only reason he was not is because he walked into the office one day and said, "Hey, we're doing a Spider-Man Christmas special," and he was like, "Oh, okay."
That's funny.
Back in the day, that's how you did it.
Liquid Fox, we read this one. $2 Canadian apologizing for his comment to Trish last Sunday about Buffy. Chef Eddie said Flintstones Christmas. So the Flintstones Christmas, I realized I didn't answer your question. Santa Claus is sick, and Fred Flintstone, who has become a Christmas mall Santa Claus, takes over as Santa, and it's awesome. I love it. Jamie Earhart for $10 Canadian. I had the tier to be able to talk in members only pods. It was too much as the timing never seemed to work. I would upgrade if I had a couple days notice. It's too costly to not be able to take part. I agree. So I've been putting up the link every week now because we do Mondays at 3:00 for the members only live stream. So I hesitate to tell you to do it now though, Jamie, because this coming Monday, I'll just say it. There's about to be a death in the family, and I'm not sure when services are going to be. So I don't know what my next few days looks like. I'll let you know. I will after the holidays. We'll be back to Mondays at 3 p.m. We might still be Monday at 3 p.m. this week. It all depends on what happens with my schedule the next couple of days. I don't know when it's going to happen. So, Going Shogi says the Twilight Zone: The Night of the Meek might be the only episode with a charming and happy ending. That's pretty cool. I never saw that one.
Yeah, me neither.
And Pirate Dark Tynave, member for 2 months, says Home Alone is DC back to normal. I don't know what he means there.
He's probably saying Home Alone and then also asking, is DC back to normal?
Oh, Home Alone, yes, it's the number one. And DC being back to normal.
Hush 2!
We'll see. Yeah, Hush 2 is coming out, so probably not so much. But yes. So, all All right, guys. That does it for the show this week. From all of us here at Tooney Town, very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Festivus, whatever it is you guys celebrate, we extend to you guys. But let's hear from our panel. Spencer Bakuli, where can folks find out more about you and what you're doing?
Folks can find out more about what I'm doing over on boundingintocomics.com, where we're throwing up news every day. If you want to hang out with me, you can check out my channels, Kabuto Studios or Foil Variant. And I'm also here and in every stream chat. You'll find me around.
All right, Kevin Apollo, anything you want to let the people know about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody knows December 28th, but none of you live in the area.
Yeah, but it's cool. And I want to keep the hype going.
I'll stream it, though. I will stream it.
Martin Stone, where can folks find out more about you and everything you're up to?
Well, I occasionally write on thatparkplace.com, and I host a members exclusive show on That Park Place, the YouTube channel, with Nolan Thunder and Hangry Table. And recently, Trish has graced us with our presence to talk music.
She's the lost gal. Lost gal Trish, anything you want to talk to the people about?
Here,
let them know about?
Crime and Punishment for members only. I know who we're going to do. It seems a little dark to say it at the end of a Christmas episode, though, so I'll just say Crime and Punishment is our jam, the members only stream.
It really is. So yeah, I'm going to be posting that next episode. I'm going to try to get it up tomorrow because I got some time tomorrow morning. All right, Nolan Thunder, tell the good folks where they can find more about you.
You can find me rocking over there with Martin and Trish on The Lost Guys. If you want to hear some of our opinions on stuff, we recorded a great recent episode on theme songs, so be on the lookout for that. If you want to see some internet mysteries and video game mysteries, please check out my channel at Nolan Thunder. I do little documentaries that are a mix of B-movie, horror, comedy, and documentaries. So if that sounds like your sort of thing, please check me out on my YouTube channel.
All right, guys, thank you so much for being here, and thank you to my wonderful panel. Thank you to everybody who super chatted, everybody who just chatted, everybody who watched and said nothing. We appreciate you guys. If you could just leave a like and make sure you subscribed to the channel, that would be super, super helpful to all of us. Merriest of Christmases, happiest of holidays. We will see you guys next week from all of us here at the Tooney Town channels. I'm Marvin the Movie Monster. Now get out of here!
Now, Perry the Platypus, feel the wrath of my thank you-inator!
Thank you, you piece of trash.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you! Oh, I suppose you want me to say thank you. Well, you know what? Saying thank you is like jobbing. Thank you!
I got a little message. Thank you. Ooh, yeah.
Oh, thank you! Oh, thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you!
Thanks? For what?
Hi-ho from all of us here at Tooney Town. Thank you!
And viewers like you. Thank you.